wander around your memories, because you might get lost. Might not be the truth. What is truth? It's what you want it to be.
Sniper rifle's going to be there and to help out his teammates, trying to get a good angle. Knife shot is in. He gets it.
Double kill. Rosa working on the third, and he gets it. The man is hungry.
Animaniacs taking these power positions away from most hated. Oh, the shots from JP. They seem to be changing in at least some respects here, but JP quickly dismantles most of that control with a double kill off the sniper. This time in the hands of WGL. The shotgun as well, both the power weapons going over to Luck as he's shutting it all down right now with a triple.
Railgun shooting down, connects with another one, gonna be a double kill. He looks to try to get the triple, and he connects with JP. Aim assist, they're looking to take the lead back.
4 in a row, Huffy going up, 23-2.
After an exciting period of roster changes in the $100,000 winter season, the latest match day delivered a big shakeup in the pro team standings. Here's a quick look at the latest events from the Splitgate Pro Series. The most anticipated matchup featured No Sleep, who made a surprising roster change to acquire K. Jules, the launch season MVP. No Sleep needed to show up big, facing off against the undefeated and unchanged Portal Demons lineup. To the shock of the entire Splitgate esports community, No Sleep managed to sweep Portal Demons, giving them their first loss of the season. Another new roster rumble went down in the match between Aim Assist and Bork. Former teammates Toby and Suppress faced off for their new teams in a huge swing match for the season standings. This nail-biting series concluded with an incredible Game 5 on Abyss domination, where Aim Assist went on a run that is set to become one of the most famous comebacks in Splitgate history.
So far, they haven't allowed Borg to have one, but they haven't been able to get the triple cap under control either. A and B held a constant struggle battle over C is ensuing. 600 points now broken by Aim Assist. Are they about to do the run of a lifetime?
But Aim Assist still has A and B. One hill is no longer enough for
way.
Borg. They turn it around.
Aim Assist wins.
With the final matches of the season around the corner, Little Gremlins, Bork, Aim Assist, and the Mushroom Hunters will all be fighting to escape relegation and secure their spot in the season finals. Be sure to head on over to SplitGateProSeries.com for more information, and tune in to all the Pro Series action live on twitch.tv/Splitgate.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Splitgate Pro Series. I'm Nathanius, joined by Supersonic, and it's day 6. It's day 6 of 7 for our regular season. We're going to be getting through day 7 tomorrow. A nice doubleheader weekend. Lots of action coming up. How you doing, Super?
I'm doing good, man. The season's flying by, and especially a day like last week. Anybody in the chat that was here, I'm sure you'll agree. It was
ludicrous.
It was an epic day of Splitgate. Seeing a couple things, at least one that I don't know will ever kind of be topped in that instance. I don't know that we ever see a comeback run like that.
I don't know. Look, we talked about all the crazy things that could happen. I feel like early in this season we had these conversations. Oh, what maps will people avoid? But rarely. Yeah, we haven't had somebody. We haven't had a team swing it like that. 695. They were so close to winning. They had it in the bag. They were in the checkout line, and then right as they went to put their card in to pay, it was nope. Somebody just slides right in. 150-point run, triple cap. Unreal.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say yeah because I don't have any words to really add to it. Right it's just something that we hope that we can someday see it done again. But it's a hope, pipe dream. It's a wish at the moment. I don't know that I'm going to get it immediately, but man, what a day of Splitgate, and we've still got 2 more, and a championship, and a relegation event, and with a Challenger Series. I mean, there's still so much to go for the rest of the season. It's been flying by. It's been a blast so far.
Yeah, you're talking about finding the words, Super. Thankfully, we've had one incredible person joining us all season long to bring a couple words of wisdom to us. Endo from 1047 Games. Always good to see you, brother. Good to see you. We got a lot of Splitgate today and tomorrow. Give me the vibe check. How are you doing? How are you feeling today, man?
I'm doing good, and I don't know, guys. You guys have had the market cornered on wise words, if you ask me. Your casting has been incredible throughout this whole season. I'm just adding maybe a little cherry on top, but you're the cake.
The cherry is a very important part of
I was gonna say
the Sundays.
If this is a Sunday or a Mai Tai, I need at least 3 cherries on there. So
for anybody that follows me on Twitter, you'll
go.
know that I've been on a root beer float kick lately. Cherry is very important on that as well. The cherry is a very important piece of it. It's not completed without you, is what I'm trying to say. All right, Endo, we need you here.
Well,
You're the one that brings us all the expert analysis.
That's right. We got a lot of really awesome games. Today's schedule, things are going to be pretty interesting. We have Mushroom Hunters going up against WGL. Then we'll go to Little Gremlins against Aim Assist, No Sleep Revenge Tour, Borg Portal Demons. We know that WGL and Portal Demons are 2 of the top teams, right up there tied with Revenge Tour. And we'll take a look at the standings later, but just to start things off, Endo, is there a match that jumps out to you here, one that you've got your eyes set on? I know these all have big implications, but which one's getting your attention to start things today?
Definitely match 3 between No Sleep and Revenge Tour, the 3-2 versus a 4-1 team. No Sleep, I think, is the hottest up-and-coming team. Not a top 3 team, just based on record. But Revenge Tour also, they're looking pretty hot too. So I think that match is going to be probably the most competitive.
Yeah. Fair. Do you agree, Supersonic?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that's one of those ones where you're looking at 3-2, you can end up at a really it's a battle. I think I'll have to do the math later, but I think that it's basically a battle for their positioning and their seeding for the finals. And this is actually going to show this a lot better. This helps my brain tremendously here. Because now we can see the game win percentages, which if you look at the top here, we could say definitely come into play. 75%, 71%. That is the difference. 4% in game win percentage is what separates third place from first place. All 3 teams 4-1. No Sleep could take down Revenge Tour, become 4-2 versus 4-2. Depending on how they do it, I don't know what that percentage works out to. It's scary for me to do math in the first place, but I imagine that the number wouldn't be that far off if No Sleep could pull off an unexpected 3-0 sweep. You start seeing some things shift around, and the jockeying for position there becomes a completely different story.
Yeah, and I think perhaps one of the other really important things to keep our eyes on here, Endo, the top 2 teams in the standings when they go to the playoffs. We know that top 4, they're pretty secure in making it to the playoffs, but the top 2 teams are going to get that bye round. So those gimme maps that we've talked about where, okay, winning 3-1 is still pretty nice, you really can't afford to, and we're going to get to see these 3 top teams play, but the only thing that's determining their seeding is the map win percentage.
Yep.
So for WGL, that TDM we always joke about, they really can't afford to give that up today, can they? There's something on the line for everybody.
No, they're fighting, scraping, clawing for every single map that they can pick up. 3-0 is the standard for all of these 4-1 teams. And the interesting thing about today's matches, guys, is the 3 4-1 teams, they aren't playing against each other, which means theoretically all 3 of those teams could win, and we might still see some leaderboard changes simply because of map percentage. So, it's going to be a little bit of a meta discussion rather than just the 2 teams purely playing each other. If a single map is dropped between those 3 teams, that could totally shift the landscape with those first round buys.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you can sit there and you can look at it and say, WGL, Mushroom Hunters, you can spin those storylines, the expectations, etc., but that's not where the storyline is focused. The storyline is very much focused for those teams of really what is that percentage. That percentage is what's going to determine whether you're first or you're third. It determines whether you are going to get a bye or not. So I think that, as Endo was just saying, that's really the huge focus is it all comes down to individual maps. It's not winning a series. It's you need to win every single map if you are one of those top 3 teams today.
Yeah. And to put it in perspective for those viewing at home, like the first round bye is a big deal because all you have to do, from what I understand with the bracket, how the bracket's going to work, all you have to do is win 1 match if you have the first round bye, and you're already in the grand finals. Like you're facing the other team. So correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's why first round bye is so important.
That's really close to math. You can't ask me that without a bracket in front of me for me to confirm that for you. I
did confirm with production by the end of tomorrow's show when we've got the whole regular season done. We will have that bracket to look at, though. So, and I double checked.
That's the easiest way for us.
Can we start hyping this up? Because it's gonna be really crazy, right?
We'll set up for it. We'll set up for it all day today and tomorrow, and then we'll avoid the fact of us having to try to pre-fill it in with our my brain that's
We'll
not
take it
working
one
well
map
at all
at a
right now. Yeah, we'll just
I like
let
that.
everybody in the back, the admins, everybody that knows what's actually going on there, handle that part. We'll do this side.
They're crunching the numbers. We're just here to watch and enjoy. And speaking of, we get a look at our first matchup of the day. Mushroom Hunters currently 0-5 at the bottom. They've made some changes, but they have been struggling this season against WGL, leading 4-1. They traded out K-Jules for Huffei last week. Didn't seem to lose a step with that roster swap, but like we've been saying, Endo, making sure that they win 3-0 is an incredibly important goal for WGL to have. As much as we should expect them to win, they need to win this big if they want to get that buy slot that you were talking about.
Absolutely, it's going to be business as usual for WGL. They obviously, like we know them by now, right? It's the expectation is always win as much as you can. And with Huffei taking the place of K-Jules, I think what we saw last week, Huffei has stepped in very admirably in replacement of K-Jules. So I don't think any drop off of play is expected.
No, certainly not. We did get a chance to talk with Matty from WGL to hear his thoughts as the end of the first Splitgate Pro Series season this year comes to an end.
What's been your sense on the progression of like the player base? Because you mentioned you started off and it was difficult, but you've kind of had this rise and kind of have been hovering at the top. Is the talent kind of catching up, or what's the overall feeling you get of the competition within the community?
Yeah, so definitely from comparing it to the last season, the competition has gotten a lot better. Everyone, is getting better, and I think they have definitely more than caught up by now. At least for me personally, I've started falling a bit behind. But it makes me more excited, honestly, because now we get to go into every single match, and it's like, oh, this might not be the number 1 seed team, but they're still going to give us a really good game.
Awesome. Yeah, so after kind of that initial day 5, now going into the final 2 days, it's a super weekend. There's going to be a lot of matches played. How are you and the team kind of feeling going into the next couple of days of competition?
Yeah, I mean, this whole week we've been scrimming. It's been going well. We, VOD review. We look at things that work, don't work. It's nice to be able to play the maps, like all the maps that we know can be played, because then we can put more time into working on those specifically. So we've been really confident. We've been working a lot, and we're ready to dominate these matches.
Awesome. What are the teams you're looking out for going into these final 2 days?
Yeah, so we're definitely, our goal is 100% top seed. So we want to, 3-0 each of these matches to give us the best chance to get that. So we haven't scrimed Mushroom Hunters yet, which is, I believe, our Saturday match. We have been scrimming Little Gremlins a lot, but I think we're really focusing on our own gameplay and our ability to work as a team. And if we do that really well, we can defeat anyone.
You know what they say? Teamwork makes the dream work. Maddie, what good manners, but also awareness and attention to detail, recognizing we want the 3-0 sweeps, we want that top seed. I definitely think, Endo, we can all agree, for WGL, that would be a huge boon to their chances going into the playoff bracket.
Yeah, that's definitely in the cards, and I think tomorrow they play Revenge Tour, so they're gonna have their work cut out for them tomorrow. Today, get in the right mindset. Don't take a single game, single playoff, just because you're facing Mushroom Hunters, who happen to be 0-5, doesn't mean they are a professional team at the end of the day. So they make sure that they don't sleep on them. No pun intended there.
Yeah, great interview there too, Maddie. Really well spoken, very very well put together. You don't always see that on the esports side of things, and shout out to him as he's kind of looking to refocus his attention there. Kind of he's noticing, we're not necessarily saying Maddie's going 40-2 anymore. Teams are finding ways to take Maddie out, and he's working on it now to figure out a way to go back to shutting people down.
Yeah, as we get a look at the maps for this series, I could not agree with you anymore. I mean, WGL really set the standard last year. Everybody was trying to catch up with them, and now as Maddie put it himself, the teams have started to bring it. Even in a difficult situation like this, they're still going to be expecting the enemy team to bring the heat. We'll start off on Club Silo with King of the Hill, a map that we don't get to see a crazy amount of, but it's popped up a couple of times this season. Then we'll move to Olympus for domination. That should just be absolute madness. And then High Wind TDM. If WGL wants that top seed, they need to win these 3 maps in a row. Because, I mean, look, as much as we know Revenge Tour is a good team, they could definitely take a map off of them tomorrow. This has to be that match where they really assert themselves and say, this is why Mushroom Hunters hasn't been able to win a match this season, and this is why we're sitting on top.
Yeah, they have to close this out in 3. This is one of those ones. If we get to foregone, something has gone terribly wrong. They do not want to be there. They need the 3-0 today. Having Revenge Tour tomorrow and Portal Demons not having either one of those teams today or tomorrow means that one of the 2 of them is going to knock the other one out of contention for that number 2 seed in that first round bye. So you do not want to take, if you are Revenge Tour or WGL, you do not want to drop a map today.
Any other thoughts before we get into this one, Endo? I feel like we've kind of covered all the bases. I'm just excited. I'm ready for the game to start. I know they're still setting it up. I know they're still getting ready. But is there anything we should be looking out for in particular? Maybe following Maddie's play or something from WGL going into this first one?
You know, we've talked a lot about WGL, and you know, deservedly so. But just give a little spotlight on Mushroom Hunters. You know, I mentioned they are still a pro team. Don't sleep on them. Look for them to continue to build chemistry. And you know, best of luck to both teams.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for your input, feedback, and all of your beautiful insight, Endo. The match is ready. I complained enough, and we've got it ready to go, so I'm excited to get into this one.
If you just started sooner, we would have already been in the match.
You know what they say. It's always us commentators holding up the matches because we just love to be on camera that much, you know?
Yep.
That's why I did all my makeup very fancy and pretty for you guys today. I hope you appreciate it. As we're getting ready to start off on Club Silo, I can see the game is booted up and ready to rock and roll. Should be an exciting weekend of Splitgate action. We've got 4 matches for you today, 4 matches for you tomorrow, and a whole lot of portals going all over the place as we start off with Eyes on Luck from WGL.
Gonna have an opening 2 kills there. A little bit of trades back and forth. If you're at home checking it out, the UI bug's been fixed before I could even say something about it. Everybody was in there.
Sometimes it just takes a second.
Everybody was in there. Game was just taking a second to load it up. We got it all on board now. Score on your screens now. 7-6. Mushroom Hunters, though, off the opener here, are standing up pretty tall. They're battling for that point, currently in the lead, up only a few. I know we're only a minute or so in here, but out the gate, looks solid. It doesn't look like it's going to be just an automatic walkover. However, again, I have to go back to this all the time. We watch WGL do this time and time again. Things go horribly wrong in the opening 30 seconds, minute and a half. The next respawn of weapons comes out, they go grab those, and then they typically snowball from there. So we'll see if that kind of carries through once again today. And Darth is going to get taken, or sorry, Maddie will get taken out by Darth there. So back and forth.
We always have this expectation with WGL that at the very beginning of most rounds, they're usually willing to take a step back, give up some objective time in order to get their flow going, get their routing set in order, and then they just kind of start to carve through the map like a hot knife in butter, and we'll see them pick up those points and kind of catch that second wind off the power weapon respawn and start to really dominate and take over the game. But one of the other things I think probably worth pointing out when we talk about Mushroom Hunters and them trying to make that strike to get back into being in that big competitive spot is they did pick up Kush from the Splitgate Challenger Series, which has been taking place across the entire season that we've been doing here in the Pro Series. So somebody that has proven themselves, that's come into this squad, definitely made Mushroom Hunters a little more competitive last week. Wasn't enough to turn the tides for them, as we've seen, but certainly one of the more interesting stories to follow, and maybe Kush can end up being one of those big players to help carry this team forward, either in relegation or next season if they make it back through.
Right, yeah, and Kush had quite a decent impact on his matches last week. He was definitely in there making a difference for the squad. It's one of those ones where he didn't quite have enough time to just piece everything together, right? And this is getting Kush on there. It's a bit of a rebuild phase for the start here for Mushroom Hunters. They do need to do a little bit of rebuilding the strategy right now, though, in matches. They are starting to do that, starting to gain back. They gave up quite a bit of a lead. They had about a 30-point lead there, gave that up. WGL currently in control, but again, really close scoreline here as these two teams throw down. Huffe once again showing to be a solid replacement there for K-Jules on this squad. 14 and 5 as we're talking about him. Gets the double kill, busts out that plasma rifle, just saws him down with it. And man, you know, Huffe definitely fitting in well once again. Doesn't look like it was a 1 week thing. It wasn't a fluke, wasn't a blunder. It is Huffe's just a consistent, solid player. Again, another double kill finally goes down, but gets the killing spree for taking out 16 and 6 so far in the game.
I love it, and I love that you mentioned that too. Kind of comes back to what Maddie was even saying, getting that team chemistry together, working on themselves, not focusing too much on what the other teams are doing, because they did make that roster swap, and as well as it worked, you know, that was the first time that we got to see WGL play with that new roster, and they've come in, they've looked strong. But I will say, this scoreline is a little bit closer than I think we were expecting out of a top seed against the bottom seed in the league so far. And I only say that because even just one map given up here really makes it tough when you're looking at, even if they win this match, even if they win tomorrow's match, Portal Demons is able to do the same thing, and they don't drop those maps. They don't give up anything. That's going to be a huge problem for them. So we're looking to see WGL. They want to take a big breakaway, but we're watching Kush right now. He's 15 and 5. He's got the sniper rifle. Bringing in a player like this late in the season when we talked about that trade deadline, it became a huge factor for basically every team except Mushroom Hunters, because we know that they've been really struggling and they had a really difficult strength of schedule going to the end of this season. But seeing his impact here, potentially playing spoiler, is, well, you know, it was like a little bit of drama as we get close to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, the other side of that is too, right? Okay, so you're sitting in last, you're most likely in relegation. Guess what? There's still $1,000 on the line right here in this series.
It's just one match.
You know, you still want to win every single series you possibly can and give it your all, and they're doing just that, taking it to them so far. WGL back in the lead again, kind of swapping back and forth. Neither team really able to get a big breakaway quite yet, though. They've kind of been trading out. Somehow Zyber gets away with that one, doesn't get taken out, gets lit up, is able to get his shields back up. He's currently 21 and 9, so also going off. Him and Kush both making a huge impact. Everybody really actually kind of going off on the side of Mushroom Hunters. Kush, Darth, and Zyber all with a pretty solid KDAs so far.
Yeah, there's that rocket launcher, though, in the hands of Luck on top of the battle rifle. So you see he's got plenty of weaponry to work with. He's going to be able to take out Zyber, opens things up for WGL, but Mushroom Hunters was actually still kind of contesting the hill over there, so 119 to 102. Even with all these frags, hasn't quite been able to get on it just yet. There we go. And that score starts to run up a bit more for WGL. Aim for King of the Hill is 250. And this is kind of what we talked about all season long. WGL kind of gets to this halfway-ish point, then they take control. If Luck can continue to pop off like this, then that's kind of getting us back towards the reality we're supposed to be in, Super.
I don't know. The reality is that Maddie's supposed to be at like 40 kills right now. Luck's supposed to have, you know, a decent KDA, and he's supposed to be at like 150 points objective right now. So it's not quite correct yet. We're still like somewhere in the in-between, between normal reality and the upside-down world. But the one thing
wait till Olympus. Map 2 is going to be nuts.
Yeah, Olympus is gonna be a wild one. But right now, the one thing that is happening is WGL is kind of turning into, again, showing that they are a second-half team, which it's hard to say that about teams because typically, like, a dominant team, when you look at them in the game, is typically the team that's just kind of crushing it. You come in, they get control early, and they maintain that. WGL, for some reason, always feels like the start of every map, not even every series, every map feels like the start of like a boxing match, right, where they're just kind of feeling each other out and not a whole lot going on, but full kill there. Everybody in WGL goes down. Mushroom Hunters, yet not a single point during that window, though, so they
It's
make
chaos.
up no ground. How do you take out the whole team and you get no points on objective? What happened? Where was the rotation?
That's that chaos, man. They get into a couple of fights, things start to turn a little bit, it feels, but as Endo coined earlier in the season, some of those empty frags, yeah, you got that wipe, but if you're not able to get on the hill, if you're not taking those fights where it can give you those points, that's where the struggle comes in. WGL were the first ones to get points after their whole team got wiped.
But when you get the kill, it still feels pretty good.
Oh, it always feels good to get the kill, but then, you know, I still...
Gotta find a way to turn that into something on the scoreboard, though.
I still have nightmares about the King of Carnage on Oasis.
Oh.
I still have nightmares about that one. I wake up in a cold sweat.
Yeah, at the point that happens, is it empty kills though? Is it really, or is it some sort of mental warfare upon the other team to where you're just trying to just take them down a notch to where they don't want to be in the game anymore?
Perhaps.
It's a completely different approach to strategy.
It's all about the objectives here. You know, we'll get that TDM round in. We always do, but the objectives in Splitgate, you've always got to make sure that you're trying to play for the positions around the value.
Don't peek the corner. Don't peek the corner, Huffy. They're all there.
I'm like, they've got all these walls blocked off with the portals. They've got that locked down pretty nicely, Mushroom Hunters. So they've been able to get quite a few time in the last minute or so here. That lockdown on the hill, very big for them as we are just about tied. 171 and 175 going in the middle of it is Maddie, and, well, the whole entire team was there ready to accept it.
Turns the corner once again, gets one, can't get the second, puts a bunch of damage out, but Luck always trying to get on objective. That man will sacrifice the body to make the play there every single time. Mushroom Hunters pull back into the lead, but as I say that, the hill's taken, then traded out, and we are at a dead heat. 179.
Look at him go. He's got the least amount of deaths in the game. He's 28 and 12, gets another kill onto Luck, holding the objective down with 115 points. Now Darth trying to back him up. Maddie is going to win that duel, so WGL gets the lead, but we see that Challenger Series player coming in and making an impact immediately for Mushroom Hunters this late in the season. Not a bad performance out of them so far. I mean, we still have to favor WGL because they are the clutch team. They are definitely the second wind team, and now they've made it over 200 points. But Mushroom Hunters definitely making them sweat a little here.
Yeah, definitely bringing probably a bit more of a game and a little bit more of a battle on Club Silo than they were expecting to get out of them. Kush really, as you were saying, kind of popping off there.
Maddie just took
29
him out, so.
and 15. So 2.0 on that KDA for him, and he's been making a huge impact. But WGL, again, back half team slowly working their way closer and closer to that 250 mark. Again, I'm not counting anybody out at any point anymore ever in Domination Match, King of the Hill, any of those. At any point, the door is always open. The second team can always come back.
Coming over here with the SMG is Huffy. Gets the collection agency onto Darth before Chasen is going to pop him with that carbine. We go over to Maddie, who's actually done a really good job of neutralizing Kush the last few respawns. Keeping him off the board has been to the boon of WGL as they get over that 235 mark. So very close to having this one sealed. Gets another frag with the rocket launcher onto Darth. Getting that rotation back around towards the rest of the team. Gets eyes on Kush with the carbine. I think Kush, double kill, clap back.
Need a 50-point run here without giving up 5 to WGL. Mushroom Hunters has their work cut out for them here, but
is there enough time on this hill? I think
there is enough time on this hill for them to close it out. However, that is not the direction they want that clock going, and in the end, WGL will force them off the hill, close out those final 5 seconds, and take down game number 1. Again, a must-win for WGL, and letting it get that close,
that's scary,
is kind of scary for me in that sense, where we're expecting them to come in, and we need to see them really dominate a match, dominate a series, especially when you're going up as a tied for number 1 kind of, until we do the separation, you're off by 3%, you know, versus the number 8 seed currently, or the number 8 rank. That I'm expecting a bit more.
We had this conversation last week, and at a game like this, and the match they had last week, even though they still lost it, it really does give me some more hope for Mushroom Hunters. Whether it's in relegation or if they make it back in the Season 2 of Splitgate Pro Series this year, but Kush has really come in and been an absolutely impactful player for this squad. If they start the season with somebody like him with that level of play there working together this way, maybe we have a different conversation this late in the year. But he's definitely shown, and keeping Mushroom Hunters that competitive in that match too, it's not something that we necessarily expected. You'd think, like you said, right, you're 0-5. Oh, you had to have just been getting stomped all year. Not necessarily. There were some close heartbreakers mixed in between throughout all of those games.
There definitely was. And this team, we talked about it last week. This is a different look on this team. Changing out a player makes a big difference. It makes an impact. We're going to jump into game number 2, jumping into Olympus domination. But again, big impact, and right off the bat, both teams know where the other one spawns. We're just going to throw some bodies at each other, have a little battle right off the rip, and then go battle it out on the underground to see who can get a hold of that rocket launcher.
Give me those rockets.
I actually didn't see who got it. It was Kush in the end who got in, got out, and snuck away with that rocket launcher. He's fired off one. It looks like he was just reloading as we switched over to him. Gets a kill for that one. Finds Huffy. Can't get the second, though. Gets taken down.
Use as many of the rockets as you can, but launcher goes up into the hands of our boy Luck, as he's been loving that. Only has a single rocket to fire. Let's see what value you can get out of it. It's going to take Zyber out. Aiming down long. And Olympus, we always talk about this map being crazy. You just have all these huge open lines of sight. You can portal across really crazy distances. You've got that bottom to work with, of course, the power weapon spawn, the rocket launcher, but all these upper outside platforms, and you can't quite just jump to each other. You don't really want to run through because there's just too many angles to get picked from. So you get a lot of fights over these towers over here. We're in this little Sector 8 sign up there. As there's the clear on that top side. Zyber getting picked. Luck with a 5-0 start, trying to get that A-hill into the hands of WGL.
I love that right there. One of the things that we just saw Luck do, right? The player goes through the portal. He's looking the direction that he expected that player to have thrown the portal, immediately flicks over, looking for him to come out. Unfortunately, he looked low and the player went high, but
sometimes
those little
like
details are things that when you execute on those time and time again, is going to get you net wins, and something that Luck does really well.
Yeah, very strong start for his squad. We're seeing WGL take off with a sprint, and I think that this has probably been the story of their season. We've had some kind of awkward King of the Hills depending on maps for WGL. We've definitely had quite a few TDMs just go the wrong way, but when it comes to domination, being able to spread out and hold those points, they're all good duelists. Luck can fight just about anybody on his own. We know Huffy can.
Especially if he's standing on the hill.
Exactly. And Akuvo, so when you have to control all these different areas, we can see the individual skill kind of shine a little bit more. Whereas on that King of the Hill match that we were just on Club Silo, the whole team worked together for Mushroom Hunters because it's just one point you have to break. And when they were able to set up that really good defensive position, we could see where their skills shine. They clearly have the teamwork aspect, but it's going to be a little bit tougher spreading out against, you know,
they had a great spread in that Club Silo match where they had that 4 point where I told everybody to stop going around the corner and don't go in there. They basically had blocked off the whole back wall with 3, and then eventually had done it enough that they ran the other team out of their grenades, so they just had permanent portal wall up, and then they were able to hold it down until that respawn. So they netted at least 10 seconds off of the team wipe into the respawn. But when you separate it out and it's one guy at a time, it gets
a little tougher.
It's not quite operating the same. So one of the things that they can look at a little bit better in their heads up and their 1v1s. The 3 cap here coming out from WGL, looking like a much stronger squad. Looking like the squad that we know them to be in domination. When WGL rolls through somebody, if you go back and look at it where it's just their blowout wins, it's typically a domination match is where they do it. This is one thing where if they get in control early, they stay in control. They don't really give up control that often inside of domination.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. That's the hard part too, because we still see the big frag players. You know, Kush is still kind of doing okay in this game, right? 15-7, not too much to write home about in terms of anything feedback wise. Zyber has yet to really catch heat. He's not been able to get on fire in this map. But that's the problem, is even if you have one player that can frag out on domination, there's still just too much space to cover. You know, it's a little bit like just you don't have enough Jan Michael Vincents to get to every sector. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying.
I love it. That's fun. Commentating some Splitgate is good times.
Yeah, it's always a good time. The good time right now was all in favor of WGL, but I'll tell you what feels real good. It's when you're down and you need to make up some ground and you've got a triple cap going. And that's exactly what Mushroom Hunters have right now. 176, closing in on that 200 mark. They need to try and make as much out of this time as possible. They've currently got them on a staggered spawn, 2 down on the side of WGL. 1 goes down for Zyber. Finally, all 4 back up now for WGL, and they are going to go ahead and snag that B point. They also neutralize A and flip that back to the middle, and now taking over. So back in control. No, this is just back and forth now. This is a lot of trades. This is just a battle right now at every single point. Nobody really focusing on any one area of the map.
No, we had a good little stretch there by Kush we were seeing earlier, keeping those points held down. Lost the 1v1 against Luck, and then we saw WGL able to get back into the driver's seat, holding A and B. We look through the eyes of Matt. He's got that carbine, going to give a smack to Darth. Portal's up top, looking at SMG, coming around the right side, and just trying to find that spot where he wants to make that next play. Chasen is on the hill. He's trying to find the right portal angle to re-enter that zone and get back into the action. But, okay, well, a Kuvo rocket launcher is going to cover you. You got the triple cap. He got blown up, but rest of the team did their job. 518 and counting now against just 221 points for Mushroom Hunters.
And so much ground that you can cover on this map. Just from you can literally just portal anywhere from anywhere. Everything is available at all times. You can be everywhere and nowhere at the same time for some reason on this map. And the battle going on here as we are on board with a Kuvo, looking to try and pick up another after he gets the double kill. He's just going to go ahead, exit his way out of there. See if he can find a supporting angle, trying to make use of those portals. Nobody going to come through. It looks like he was expecting some, but never mind. They did come through. They just kind of jumped down. They end up catching him from surprise with a little jump from the top rope.
They've still got all the points under control. So you're talking about the hills don't really spawn in this tower area where people like to shoot from. So yeah, you can go here and get a couple of frags, but at some point you gotta throw some bodies onto the point. You gotta get in. You gotta get in there, coming in. There we see a nice little punch out. Huffe getting the double kill. He's gonna get picked by Chasen, but they're going over 696. They still have all 3. WGL cruises to 2-0 after, well, a much more competitive King of the Hill round. I think we can agree. Things got a little bit dicey there, but on Olympus, if your team can individually outplay the players on the other team just in all those little 1v1s, and then you're on Olympus where there's not really any room to cover, there's nowhere to rat out and like try to hold a corner for someone to walk by, you just get trounced, and this is where we get to see why WGL is one of the top teams in the league. They took control of that game and never gave it up. There was that temporary triple cap, but they only gave up 100 points on it and then did not give up a hill again going back to 700.
I'd like to talk about the confusion for me on the side of WGL right now. Luck, objective score, makes sense. Maddie tied in objective score with Luck.
He's the objective player
in a Kuvo's the slayer of the team? Everything's shifting. One player shifts out of that, and this entire squad becomes something new. But Maddie, getting on board, he was talking about it. Teams are catching up. We're having to make some changes. We've got to figure this out. We've got to scrim. There's a lot going on. We're at the top, but we want to stay there, and we need to make sure that we're doing the right things. He's making some changes to his gameplay. He's not necessarily just crushing out 32-2 or something like that, but he's there in the team fights. He's there to make sure that he's on the objective. He's assisting in places that we didn't typically see him get involved previously, and it's making an impact. If there's one spot, though, where he can just go ahead and be the Maddie of old, a TDM is exactly where he would need to do that. We're going to jump into Highwind, game number 3. Again, WGL looking to take this one down. They want to end 3-0 in this series to make sure that they stay in contention to be in that number 1, number 2 seat at the end of tomorrow.
And they've had some nasty games on Highwind. As far as their portal routing is concerned, WGL absolutely love this map. We've seen them do some devastating things here. I think there's a reason why this ended up being the one that gets played here. I don't know if it was specifically their map pick, but if you're good with the portal routing, Highwind is going to reward you tremendously. You've got tons of good power weapons for moving around. You've got tons of those portal walls, the billboards on the outer corners. There's just so many different areas to use to outplay your opponent here and force those fights. However, there are still those tight corners that we weren't really talking about. They weren't on Olympus. You can kind of play around some angles here if you want to, but keeping up with that speed of WGL is something that Mushroom Hunters is going to struggle to do, I think, to say the least.
Oof! Nasty shot from Akuvo. Snipes and takes out, who was that, Chasen, I think, that he caught there coming down, and he's going to run right back into him, and he's able to get the little flick at the end, gets him a second time. So Akuvo, 2 in a row on Chasen there. Unfortunately, Chasen having to catch the receiving end of the sniper rifle. Never the side of that thing that you want to be on.
Absolutely not. At 14-12, we know these TDMs can get messy. Scores end up getting close. It has been a point that we've discussed quite a bit as far as WGL specifically is concerned, as they're one of the teams that have given up quite a few TDM maps, and winning 3-1 is nice, but winning 3-0 when everything is on the line for those top 2 seeds, and you've got that match against Revenge Tour tomorrow, you want to win as much as you possibly can here. WGL does not want to give this TDM up. They don't want us to be able to tell that story for the millionth time. Kush trying to make that upset happen, but he's going to get neutralized by Akuvo and Huffei. So let's see now as we go over to Maddie with that plasma rifle, how many kills he can rack up. He's got 100% energy on that bad boy. Let's see it rip.
Well, let it rip. You're going to have to find a target to put it on. Unable to do so thus far. Still with him. Following through. Look, you can see all the players on the other side. Throws a good portal. Not able to get any finishes, though. You know what, though? His team. They're going to come
he
through.
opened it up.
They're going to get the finishes. He's going to soften the blow. They'll come through, get the kills. He'll pick up one of his own. Takes down Zyber. And starting to open up a little bit. 5-point lead now for WGL as we approach the halfway point on the score. And we're there and we're past it because Maddie is just putting in work right now. 15-3. This is the Maddie that we're used to seeing.
And this, you talk about, you want to make sure, you want to be that player for your team. Everybody loves being able to have that pop-off moment. And like Endo has said throughout this season, that's such an important factor. Akuvo just yeets himself in there, trades. And we're up to 28-23. So a nice little bit of a buffer for WGL, but not too much. We know TDM can swing hard and fast depending on who gets those power weapons and when.
The one thing I will say about Akuvo is that though he's typically that objective player, when you go and you look at what he does inside of Slayers, he's still typically at the top or second place in his team in objective points within TDM, which means that he's winning his solos, he's winning his duels, he's getting the finishes still for his team. He may not be the top kills on the team every time, but he's still typically the one getting the finish.
And now we look over to Huffei. He's got the sniper and the plasma, but no ammo really in either. Switches out to the assault rifle at that last moment, able to get a couple more shots in, takes the last sniper shot, I believe, but now gets back to that carbine setup, gets the pistol. Let's see how much more Huffei can get done. We were seeing earlier, Kush, by the way, 16-5. Our challenger player that's come up has been a factor for the squad. He's going to take out Huffei, but 39-31. WGL just need 11 more frags to close out this match and get ready for their final regular season game tomorrow.
And they're doing a great job thus far. On the other side, we do have to talk about it. At no point have they allowed this to just become completely blowout and out of hand. Mushroom Hunters has been in this all the way through this one thus far. Down by 9. This is probably the worst point, but again, WGL, back half team. They're a team that picks up and builds that momentum as they go through. Luck trying to get some finishes here. 13-9 now. Coming through, shots in the back. Nope.
Yeah.
Nothing there. Was looking for a kill through that portal, but nobody available.
It's Maddie's map. He's 28-8. The kill feed slows down because he is in the respawn screen, but they still have enough of a lead here that we should be expecting them to take a couple of aggressive fights, try to force it here. There you go, with Akuvo and Maddie clearing the room of Mushroom Hunters. 48 now. They just need 2 more frags to seal the deal on this one. Goes up close with the bat. He's going to trade himself out. 1 more frag. Who's going to get it? Headshot from Huffei onto Darth. And WGL wins our first series of the day, 3-0. We talked about how they really needed this. They're talking about the seeding, those top 2 spots. Since we had 4 teams 4-1 going into today's matches, those top 2 seeds getting the buys for the playoffs is huge. Get a little more time to observe the opponents, a little less pressure as you're starting off later in that bracket. And despite this being a very clear and clean win at the end of all of it, they got the 3-0 they were looking for WGL. I can't say enough good things about Kush. The swap up here from Mushroom Hunters made them a lot more competitive. 22-8. Great performance by them. Just, you know, you're going up against the top dogs in the league.
Yeah, you're going up against top dogs. There's yes, it's a loss, but I would say that there has still been positive improvements on the side for Mushroom Hunters over the past 2 weeks since they've done their swaps. We'll see if that continues into tomorrow. They'll have another game then. But today, WGL, they come through. They get the 3-0 that much needed and looking for. They're able to close that out, and really it came off of a overall team performance. Maddie stepping up in all the game modes, being part of the objective score. Just everybody was involved doing things that we don't always see the entirety of the team doing. So great play overall from WGL. Looks like the scrims are paying off as a team effort.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to check in with Endo after this one as well. Maddie getting 30-plus bomb there in the team deathmatch. We think we could see where he shines and made a good impact there. I think maybe that first map was the only one things got a little dicey, huh?
Yeah, kudos to Maddie. You know, he's saying he's scrimming more with his team. Like any other player, Maddie has a lot of strengths, few weaknesses, but mainly strengths. And one of his biggest strengths is using that plasma rifle and just outspeeding the enemy. Most of the time when I play against him, maybe in like ranked or something, he's just outpacing me. He's always behind me. He's looking at me from behind, and I'm looking at him. So he's just a really quick, really talented player.
Yeah, he was making a ton of work. We were sitting there watching him go off with the plasma rifle, and we were like, well, never mind. He's not going to get any kills. Oh, it's okay, though. He softened up every single person on the other team, and then you watch the team come in and just get finished. And when you look back at the stats on it, of course, that's the one stat I didn't write down. I think he had like 13 or 14 confirmed kills, but or objective points, but he had, or 16, and he had 32 kills that he was a part of. So he's a part of almost every elim. He's, over 60% participation on objective points then? For a TDM, he's just if somebody has been eliminated on the other team, you have to assume that Maddie probably at some point fired a bullet at him, regardless of where it came from. If he had to rebound it off 3 walls, shoot it through portals, whatever it had to do, somehow Maddie's involved.
Yeah. I think, Endo, another great point to bring up with this match is when we talk about WGL's strengths again, winning those duels. Of course, having a guy like Maddie that can be everywhere is awesome, but once things got spread out and we were on those fast portal routing maps like Olympus and Highwind, they really caught their speed. But on Club Silo, it did feel they had that final hill. They had their whole team locking it down, Mushroom Hunters. If they had been able to take it the whole way, they could have potentially turned it around. So it didn't come quite as easily as maybe we were expecting, I think.
And it kind of follows that narrative of, they're sleeping giants. They're really, like, I still maintain that they're the most well-rounded team in the league. But they're just slow to wake up on these matches. And that's probably not going to fly when it comes to the grand finals. For these matches, they can kind of maybe work on that. They did end up winning that first match on Club Silo. But also kudos to Mushroom Hunters. Kush is he's like a consistent bright spot for that team. I think he has a really bright future in the SPS. And, if they're going to avoid being taken down in relegation, I think he's their guy.
I would agree. I think that we touched on it a little bit during the match that he's made quite the impact. Mushroom Hunters does not look like the same team. I don't know if that's just necessarily him or if it's a refresh for the other guys. Internally, what that feels like, every team, every player is going to experience that differently, but overall, the impact that he is making, regardless of what that is, seems to be positive for Mushroom Hunters. It gives them a foundation, something to build off of, something to get ready for. If you end up I think at this point they're 100% locked. I don't think there's any way to get out of relegate. It's 100% confirmed at this point. There was a wild set of circumstances that could have occurred had they won this series to make it up, but now you prepare for relegation, you come through relegation, and that gives you your bounce back and your redemption story arc, the start of that for next season.
Yeah, I think if you can bring that pressure to WGL, you're definitely a team that's looking strong, and I completely agree with you, Endo. I have nothing but praise for Kush. Really happy to see him come into the league, and I think that he's definitely someone we'll be seeing on a Splitgate Pro 100%. Series roster most likely throughout. We do have plenty of other matches to go today, though, ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to get into it after this break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Splitgate Pro Series. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Splitgate Pro Series. We're here with Pro Day 6. Tomorrow will be the last day of the regular season, but don't fret, the playoffs will start, and we'll get through them next week. It will be a very exciting times. I'm Nathanius, joined by Supersonic, and, well, WGL. They did what they had to do. They did their job. They came here to win 3-0 and keep themselves up on top in terms of seeding, and they were able to do that. So now it's time to see how everybody else shakes up today.
Yeah, I mean, technically we get to say they're number one.
For now. With a little asterisk.
There's an asterisk that they've played an extra series, but by winning 3-0, they do. They bring that win percentage up. They're now at 5-1 instead of 4-1. So other two teams are going to have to play through their series, and those teams are both looking to pull off the exact same. Portal Demons is going to need a 3-0 today. Same with Revenge Tour. So we'll get to see both of those play and, see how it shakes out.
That's right. And when we're talking about all this action, all these prizes and whatnot being competed for, that cash money cash, we've always got a little something for all y'all out there. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you so much. Type !Astro in the chat if you'd like to enter to win a sweet headset and mix amp powered by Astro. !Astro in the chat. As well, we've been doing these little giveaways, trying to hook people up. We appreciate all of you hanging out. You guys have been awesome, and we've got lots of more action to bring you today and tomorrow.
Man, so much more action. It's been hard to kind of keep up with. There's been so many things going on, and now as it gets to the end, trying to do math in my brain and figure out who's where and where's what's going on, and so much riding on every game. This one also, no different. We're going to be going into Little Gremlins versus Aim Assist. Once again, storylines. Little Gremlins, they need the W here, right? They need the W today. They need the W tomorrow to try and get their way out of being in that relegation spot. We've got, one team locked in. If they don't want to be that second team to lock into that spot, they're going to need a win here. They're going up against Aim Assist. Aim Assist also going to be playing Little Gremlins today. They'll be playing Mushroom Hunters tomorrow. Aim Assist is in a situation where if they get upset by these two teams, there's a potential for them to end up in that number 7 seed. So there's so much going at the top, at the bottom, in the middle. Everything is up for grabs still, it seems, on all ends.
Yeah, there's so much at stake. We're going to bring back our expert from 1047 Games, Endo, to talk about this match. There is a chance still that they can, they can make their way, the Little Gremlins, up into that playoff bracket. They can escape. It's a slim one, but when you're playing on this big stage, there's money for every match. Anything is possible, Endo. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, if last week was any lesson, you can't just pencil in a W for either team. But, granted, these teams have had a week to adjust to the new rosters, so I don't see as many upsets happening today. And like you said, Little Gremlins, definitely an uphill battle. They got Aim Assist, who's definitely no slouch despite their record. Remember that they went to the grand finals last in the launch season. And they also have a really tough matchup tomorrow against Portal Demons, Little Gremlins does. So they're going to have their work cut out for them. Aim Assist, on the other hand, they have Mushroom Hunters next tomorrow. So it's going to take a little bit of some, I guess, luck on their end, so to speak, in order to get into the playoffs. But they're not out of it, and I assume they're going to take it one game at a time, one map at a time.
That's right. Speaking of, great transition, great lead up there, Endo. We've got the maps up on screen. We'll start with Abyss on King of the Hill. We'll go to Olympus for Domination Map 2, and then Impact for TDM Map 3. Of course, we definitely more possible we see Club Silo for King of the Hill on Map 4, and Crag if we get to game number 5. Supersonic, we've had a lot of roster changes. We talked about how Aim Assist brought on a couple of new players. We were seeing Crazies and Apollo both come in, be strong, competitive players. So if they're gelling, if they're feeling better, then this could turn into a really good series for them getting ready for the playoffs if they get this done.
Yeah, I mean, this is the team that last week I kind of said, hey, you came up from Challengers. Do you belong here? They very much made the case for yes we do. I don't know why we weren't on a team in the Pro Series already. They popped off last week. They were a team that they showed up. They had huge games for their team, and I'm expecting them to probably do more of the same here today. And this is going to be one of those ones where It's not quite the same as when we're talking about Revenge Tour, Portal Demons, WGL, where it needs to be a 3-0. And I'm not necessarily expecting 3-0s out of these next two series. This is going to be one where I think that this is a bit more of a battle, back and forth. But they do need these wins. Each one of these teams is really in a situation where they need to win this series. This is a must-win series for both squads.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we talk about, of course, playing Portal Demons tomorrow would be really difficult for the Little Gremlins, no matter how well they play today. But we also keep in mind, Endo, there's $1,000 if they just win this one match, too. You know, versus $250 from L, and you want to have that momentum. Even if you're going into relegation, we want to be able to see that their final games are showing that progress and that improvement, where maybe if the strength of schedule was different, that roster change ends up being where things turn around for them. And of course, they do still have those difficult opponents, but there's quite a few positives to still take away. I think we can agree.
Yeah, and all it takes, guys, is a 3-0. Imagine if Little Gremlins 3-0's aim assist. Not saying that's what happens, but that's all it takes for their fortunes to completely turn around. They'll have so much momentum on their end.
It's going to be a 3-0.
And
check mark.
Oh no. I think it's probably leaning towards aim assist. But I'm giving the Little Gremlins their due. They do have really good players. So you'll see how they put it together, though. Aim assist, also an intriguing team. And they're fighting for that sixth spot. I think both these teams are fighting for that 6th seed.
Yeah, we all love underdog stories, but Aim Assist are the team that's looking to have that turnaround, bring in the roster changes, and come in strong for that playoff bracket. Thank you so much, Endo. I'm hearing the match is just about ready to go, so we'll check in with you afterwards. But I guess we keep talking about this scenario where Little Gremlins is able to make a miracle happen, I suppose. Right. But Aim Assist, if they have a dominant performance here, if they're able to get a 3-0 themselves, then we're talking about that dark horse potential, because Apollo and Crazies, as you said last week, they proved they belong here. I think the other player, Kush, has also done that. Let's see how far these challenger players coming in can bring that new life and blood into the Splitgate Pro Series.
Well, things to look at too. Aim Assist was a team that they first season they had some highs, had some lows, but ended on almost the highest of highs, making a run all the way to the end against WGL. Maybe they're just a championship run kind of team. They got to make sure that they're in the playoff bracket to be able to have an opportunity to do it again, though. So this is a must-win series, as we've said a couple times now, getting into the game. Off the bat here, Little Gremlins is leading 17-8.
I love that too. Maybe they are just a playoff team.
That's what it is.
They weren't the team that was finishing at the top in the qualifiers last year, but when it got to that final bracket, they were the team that finished second overall in the launch season of the Pro Series. So definitely, we have to give them that respect.
I can only remember. Well, I guess I didn't cast every single day last time. I was gonna say they were only in 1 or 2 of the tournament brackets where they made it to broadcast, and then playoffs come and they just make the run of a lifetime, go the distance. So it's a team that has a lot of pop-off potential. They definitely want to show that here today. And so far, not quite showing up as much as they would like, as they are down by just over 10, coming up on that 20-point mark. They do finally stem the bleed for the moment. Stop that clock. Aim Assist will take control of the hill, and the fight continues. We're going to jump on with Apollo. Looking for a portal cross, trying to find somebody to be on the receiving end. Toby's going to be sitting there, and Chloe will actually support him, and that kill will come through.
Well, we got our eyes now on Chenzo, who has been one of the other strong fragging players on this squad. I think as far as things go, they were able to bring in Noble Toby, who ended up being a big factor for them, as they were able to get quite a bit going there. I totally mixed that up, by the way, talking about the players making the full roster swaps. That was Little Gremlins who brought on the 2 players. We had Noble Toby come in for Aim Assist. They've still had a very strong roster. Chloe has been a big frag player for them as well. So kind of getting Noble Toby across from Chloe, you're talking about 2 very dangerous players, and I think that sets up Chenzo and Booze to be able to do their thing a little more effectively. Booze playing that objective as well as possible, getting Aim Assist a little further into that lead.
Well, on the lead is Aim Assist. Toby just kind of trying to hold this high ground, waiting for somebody to come through. You know someone's there, going to use that SMG, can't quite get the finish, going to have to back out, wait for his own shield to come back up. But Apollo, knowing that he's weak, his teammate had gotten the shots and decides to make the play himself, comes through, gets an elim before getting taken down.
And we go over to Apollo. He's got that battle rifle in his hands. seeing what he can find. Has the SMG as well, so definitely a good amount of firepower available here for the little gremlins. Getting that portal set up. Crazies was taken out just next to him, but didn't quite get eyes on the enemy. Here goes for rotation, and Chenzo's going to railgun him out of the skies. As we switch over to him, he's on that killing spree. 5+ has the bat in his hands. You do not want to get up close and personal with this guy.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I want you to. Get up close and personal with him. I need to see a couple BFB kills here. There it is. He's going to break it out. There's one. Looking for a second. Portals through. Trying to find another. Nobody there. His shield finally back up. He's going to make the press through, see if he can get a chase down. Finds Blitz. There's another. Second for him with that bat.
So dangerous. So dangerous with that bat getting in your face, especially when we talk about this map, Abyss. You have a lot of portaling you can do. The verticality's in play, but as you can see, Chenzo, he's routing himself beautifully through. There's plenty of corners to turn where you have to be hyper aware, or you are going to run straight into that bat.
Coming through. That bat, yeah, that bat is just it's a problem. I think this is the map where the bat probably makes the most impact.
Yeah. Love to see it here. And we get our eyes on Noble Toby now with that assault rifle. Looking for that hill control. They've been able to maintain it pretty well. Amos has started cruising through. We had a bit more back and forth at the start of this one, but they've just seemed to have taken off now. Double the points of their opponents. Gets on top of Vexy. Vexy does win that fight, but Chloe's going to punch her out shortly afterwards.
Waiting for that press, hoping that they'll pull in. Going to use that little bit of the jetpack to try and stay alive a little bit longer, but Chloe unable to maintain that altitude long enough to get the shield to fully recover. Ends up getting taken down. Sir Chenzo going to end up taking out Crazies, and really one of these things where we saw Crazies and Apollo just like pop up almost every game. They were going positive still. They really have not had the opportunity yet here in this game. Amesis has done a great job of neutralizing them, and really that is making up a huge point difference for them. It really felt like Apollo and Crazies were kind of leading the way, the wind in the sails, so to speak, last week for this little Gremlin squad. You're going to want to see them come online and start really popping off if they're going to be able to make up any of this ground.
I think Endo made an excellent point before we got into this one, talking about how the teams had a little more time now to review, because prior to, of course, they could have scrimmed leading up to the matches last week, but now they had VODs to review. They had data they could look back on and say, okay, well, these guys are scary. Why are they scary? What weapons are they using? Where are they going? How do we plan our routing in a way that we can take that away from them, right? Make these players have to squirm a little bit more, and They've been able to have a pretty solid game so far, but Little Gremlins, they've picked up quite a few points since the last time we saw Amos's take the hill. They've been stuck at 150 for a little while now, and they have not been able to get back on top.
It's an SMG kill. Apollo had that bat, immediately goes down, unable to do anything with it, and never mind, Apollo picks it up, takes down Sir Chenzo. It wasn't they had it before. Somebody went down with it. Apollo coming in now, won't be able to get another swing in. He'll get taken out by that assault rifle. Hands the bat over. It continues to switch hands. This time, the oh-so-pretty Candy Cane looking to find someone to hit with. That's Vexy that's going to catch the receiving end. That time, Blitz will come through and get the cleanup. Nobody been able to really piece together the killing spree yet with the bat today.
No. And look, I mean, Little Gremlins are up to 130. Aim Assist only grabbed 3 points since the last time that we checked in. So Little Gremlins are fighting back. Apollo over here has that SMG in his hands. Can he make something happen with it for the team as they continue to try to rack those points up? Very close now to tying it up. Gets behind Noble to be able to pick him off with the SMG. 20 and 12 gets into Sir Chenzo's face. Double kill. And look at that. Little Gremlins all of a sudden right back in it. There's that killing spree we're looking for. Comes off the back of the SMG, though, instead of the BFB.
Straight into another double. Looking to try and find another one. We'll have to finally back out. Low shields. Decides to not hold that ground. Makes a smart decision to go through. Get a little bit of time, but doesn't use enough of it. Comes back through with only half shield. Pays for it dearly.
And all of a sudden, what it looked like, Aim Assist was at 150 to 70 points earlier. Now they are down. They did just get control of the hills, so maybe we'll see them be able to claw that lead back, but it's not quite as simple or straightforward as it seemed at the beginning of this one. Amos is going to have to turn it on if they want to secure this first map. Apollo from above rains down onto Noble Toby.
3 down, 4 down now for aim assist. This is the door. This is the opening that LG needs. Little Gremlins starting to build a little bit of time. They're going to take the lead here. Still 1 down, so they're 3 versus 3 right now, as they did just lose Vexy as I started talking about it, but another one goes down on the side of aim assist. So trade outs happening back and forth. Little Gremlins barely holding onto the lead, but there's so much trades back and forth that nobody's really generating any time on Hill right now.
Can't let Apollo get that SMG. He is just racking them up with it as they've gotten control of that hill once again. Little Gremlins getting close to that 200-point mark, Supersonic, and him and Crazies, 28-14, 27-19. They are having that impact for the team that they need. We're really seeing those challenger players step up here today.
I mean, Vexy's 36-19 also. By no means is Vexy not doing his job, but we were talking about it before, really saying like Crazies and Apollo going off together was really what was making this LG squad look as threatening as they were last week. And now they finally got a little bit of heat going. Those two have sped up, cracked over 200, but as they've gone and gotten that going, aim assist has gotten back in control of the objective, and they're closing in on them quickly, bringing them down within 5 now, still generating time as they maintain control on that hill. Coming through, there's another Elam with the bat. It might have the most kills on the map right now. We haven't seen killing sprees with it, but it seems that everybody gets a hold of it, gets at least one.
Now we got our eyes on Chenzo now. Over 40 frags in this game so far. Gets Apollo, but taken out by Vexy. Noble Toby going back for the trade there, and then back against him is Crazy. So it's just back and forth. Staggered frags on both sides nonstop. 205 to 206. We have, I think, about as much of a power struggle as you really can in a match of competitive Splitgate. So close, but there's only 40 points to go to get to that 250 mark now. Aim assist trying to be the first one to get there.
Yeah, aim assist doing just a little bit better job here in the late game of making sure that they have the hill under control, that they've gotten an elim, a stagger kill, something before they get on point. They're not just throwing their body onto the hill meaninglessly. And now starting to get these stagger spawns, really trying to lock down these final seconds as they continue to elim LG one at a time, one by one by one. Vexy now goes down. Blitz still on cooldown, about to come off. Crazies goes down. Apollo goes down. Blitz, last one left up. 10 seconds, just over 10 seconds left here for aim assist. Really came alive here in the final half.
Yeah, they managed to get control of that hill. There is plenty of time on this one to close it out for them. They just need to maintain, barring a miracle. They should be able to get this first map, and there it is. Aim assist goes up 1-0 over the Little Gremlins. But, well, Little Gremlins definitely giving them a run for their money there, Supersonic. We got to see, yes. I mean, yeah. I guess, to your credit, what you were saying earlier, Vexy, we kind of have the expectation. Vexy's the big shot caller, big player on that squad.
Yeah.
But now being able to bring in that talent around him, we see, you know, the signs of, hey, this is a team that is improving. They're not getting stomped, and anything kind of seems possible with their squad going forward.
Yeah, if you go back and you look at that, we look at that same match and we say Apollo and Crazies come on in the opening couple minutes there, rather than kind of in that second half or really around the halfway point for that. I'm going to call it after the first quarter. They came in and they kind of, that middle section of the map, they really did well in that second third. Back half, though, really controlled by aim assist, and it really came down to their ability to start putting them on that staggered spawn at the end. That's what closed everything out. They were timing their kills, one down, and about every 3-4 seconds they'd take another one, and they just kept it in a situation, just a cycle that they couldn't break out of, and in the end ends up giving them the win.
As we are getting ready for domination. Wow, how about that? How often do we get to make that smooth of a transition into the next game? I think we weren't ready for it to happen that quickly.
That's you know, it didn't come to camera, but that was his fault. I'm pointing at him. Just know that I'm currently pointing at him, and it's aggressively pointing.
You see these shoulders. I can hold a lot. I got you.
Okay, cool.
I can handle it. We will be going to Olympus for domination next, but I got us a little too excited there. So we'll take a second now. Things I'll keep my eyes on though. Apollo with that SMG. They actually had some pretty good power weapon control, and I think that especially for a new roster, making those changes and those adjustments, that was a huge factor for them. So maybe they can end up still stealing a map or two or turn this one around. We are actually starting the game this time right now. We're going to be jumping in. I've got the producer in my ear. All the magical information I could possibly need to know, Supersonic.
The game has started. I guess you are correct on this one. Production was correct as well. So into game number 2, my favorite map. It's Olympus. And I pretty much love it just because of the pure chaos that it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Olympus is just such a domination on this map, too. You have a map that already kind of spreads you out. You want to hold these towers, you want to hold these positions, but the hills are not in these towers off to the side, so you have to step out. That's the best vantage point, but that's the trade-off. You're not getting those objective points if you're holding it. So who can win the duels? How is everybody going to perform when they are spread out and when they have to jump onto these points to take these fights? Well, for Blitz, getting hit by that rocket launcher kind of sours it a little.
I mean, on the other end though, for Chloe, feels real good. Great way to breach a point.
That'll do.
With a rocket launcher, just go off, keep going. Okay, finally gonna go down. Got a bunch of rockets off, got a bunch of kills, got some time there on that hill. A and C now locked down for the side of Aim Assist. They're trying to get their way back into this one as they were down by just a few points here early as Little Gremlins had a strong start once again. Aim Assist having to respond to that. He'll get another kill on Vexy. That SMG doing a ton of work for Booze. 9-1 right now. Close. 6-1. I mean, the kills heavily favored on the side of Aim Assist thus far. A and B, they've currently got C switched back to a neutral point, making up a ton of ground here. They haven't been able to lock it down, but at the moment, it doesn't really matter. If you can hold 2 and not allow a single point be held, never mind. Take all 3. Go off.
That was really interesting what we just saw, because Boost makes the play onto the objective right as Vexy portaled back up to that tower. And even though Vexy is able to look down and try to land those shots, they're not on the point. So Hill swings back in control of Aim Assist, and that's the kind of chaotic flow of playing on Olympus. You really have to choose, do I want the better aiming position or do I want to play the point? If you can, of course, get that routing going and you start picking up these frags nonstop, you can just hold control of the points naturally if no one can get on them to break them. But for Aim Assist, it's given them a nice little start. Though Little Gremlins getting a double cap now. Let's see if they can maintain it. Noble Toby is the one with the SMG.
Making the plays through, but the triple cap on the side of Little Gremlins this time, making up all the ground. Again, never out of this. They take the fight to them over and over again. Really, truly making it a pain for Aim Assist. Aim Assist looking again, wants the 3-0. They want this quick win. They need the series win. 3-0 would be the ideal way. They don't need the 3-0. They just need to win the series, but they'd like to get it done sooner than later, and they're not making it easy on them by any means. Back in the lead now is Little Gremlins once again, looking for the shots on Vexy, who comes through the portal behind him, can't get the turn on him, ends up getting finished off. The BR from Vexy, a bit too much, takes down the SMG.
And like you were saying, for Aim Assist, it's a very important match because it's if you win this one, then the most losses that their team can have is 4. Little Gremlins is at 5. So you're safe. You're safe in terms of having that potential swap happening. They won't have to really worry about relegation. It's kind of a win and you're in scenario. Obviously, tomorrow they can improve their seeding if they're able to get another dub, but they can start to think about the playoffs. They don't have that. They don't have to worry about, okay, now we're just going to prepare for relegation and next season and what have you. So for Aim Assist, they've definitely been pushed to the limit though. Little Gremlins is bringing it now in this kind of mid portion, kind of like we saw on the first map. Now they've got that lead. They're up about 60 points. They've got 2 points under their control. Rocket launcher is in the hand of Blitz, and Aim Assist is they're gonna need to start turning things around there. Noble Toby getting nuked right there.
Really, it's coming through rotations and winning fights when they need to happen. We were talking about kind of the kills and the start here, right? Booze is 20-5, but when it comes down to being on point, when to be there, which hill are you attacking at the time, they're just doing it better right now on the side of Little Gremlins. They're executing on the side of objective rather than executing on getting the elims, which, you know, as Endo said, and we've already said once today, you know, elims aren't everything. Some of them are empty, and they're doing nothing for your team.
That's true. You want to be getting those frags when you can use it to take the point. Obviously, if you take a kill usually whenever you can get that chance, but you want to put yourself in a position where getting that means you can generate value from it. We look back over on Chenzo with that assault rifle holding down A hill.
That's a great way to generate a little value. Get an elim on the hill. That's as you talked
There
about
you
it.
go.
That's about as much value as you're going to get out of
on
something.
the hill.
That's a value kill. That's not an empty one. Killing spree, finds the double, will go down. Vexy will be the one to take him out. 3 down now for the side of aim assist. That'll give an opportunity over to Little Gremlins once again to try and get a second point under control. They'll do just that as they find that C hill. Now up by almost 90 points here. Again, shooting for 700. We're just over halfway at this point in the match, but Little Gremlins doing a great job making use of that rocket
sees enemy
launcher.
portal, fires rocket, collects kill.
Yep, do it again. Yeah, just throw another one. That apparently the way that you do this is to just throw rockets at portals. You will get an elimination. That is how you do it. Just watch the VOD.
And
Search
what
Joe.
What follows that? The triple cap
the
for
triple
aim
cap.
assist. And just
momentarily lived, but
take what you can get.
They made the most of it, right? They got a point where they did get a full takedown of the enemy team, and they did go out and get a few extra points. They got a hill. They immediately reacted on that, and that's something that we end up kind of harping on teams about. There's a lot of times where we'll see full team wipes come out, and a team generate no objective points out of it. That's one thing that the aim assist does not do. They generate something off their plays.
It takes time to capture the hill, but it also takes time to take it away from the enemy team. So even if that triple cap is only for a second, what you don't see is an enemy player standing on that hill saying, I'm not generating value until this timer kicks down, and then we take the hill. So, like you said, making a really good job of that, but things swing around very quickly as we have Apollo starting to pop off the SMG in Apollo's hands. This is what we were warning y'all about. Little Gremlins now, they've still been able to maintain this lead. Even though aim assist finally seemed to strike back, they're down 100 points. Little Gremlins have A and C under control. Look at that. Rotate straight over to that assault rifle right as the SMG runs out of ammo, and he's ready to bring it to Booze. Can he get another frag here? Killing spree for Apollo.
Apollo going off right now, looking to try and find another one. Not going to have the opportunity, though. Toby's going to find him, take him down. That's 3 down now for Little Gremlins. Need to get a second point. Aim assist need to make the most of it. Will they get A off of that? No, they will actually counter swap C. So A gets taken by Little Gremlins. C gets taken out by aim assist, which at least keeps them neutral. Aim assist behind, though. They need to make up ground here. Again, winning on the exchanges in the gun battles, but not winning in the get on point. Just get on the point.
Gotta get on the hill. Need to win these fights. Time is running out in this round for aim assist as Little Gremlins are approaching that 100-point distance away, and that's where, look, we have seen it happen. We've seen the miracle comeback just last week. But that's not something that you count on, you know. That's not something that you don't plan around. Nobody plans around having to make the 95-yard pass with 1 second left on the clock. Okay, that's never your ideal scenario. You'd rather just comfortably win a little bit
I mean, if you
earlier.
could pull the play off every single time,
I'm not gonna say don't try, but but maybe don't have that be the only option.
You typically want to practice to make that scenario not occur in the first place, if possible. But if you can pull the play off, awesome. Little Gremlins, though, you know, looking to close this one out, but we are looking about the same point difference as the last comeback, so I can't say that they have it yet. After last week, I refuse to call this one early. Till it says 700, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, but Little Gremlins have definitely played a fantastic match. Aim assist able to get B and C. Oh, there's the triple cap. So if they can hold on to it, you're getting a lot of time, a lot of points every tick, and just denying Little Gremlins from being able to creep up there is still huge. I do believe they still can't let Little Gremlins have even one hill, right? Even 2 to 1 is not enough with this point gap. So there's the triple cap again for aim assist. They're doing their darndest to bring it back here. There's Crazy. We see him getting popped. Low on that sniper rifle, getting it done for his team, or excuse me, the BR.
Is taken down, so they're going to give up that point again, but they've made up a ton of ground, so it's really, can they react and get control of it once again? It looks like they just might, but they are giving up A, so as long as they can keep this rotating and not let the hill ever get capped, even if they only 2 cap or 1 cap, as long as they continue to keep them at a deficit in this situation, they will make up the ground. We can't possibly watch this happen 2 weeks in a row.
No, I don't believe it. We got Vexy was looking down onto that hill. Let's see, though. Aim assist is over 600. That point gap is getting very close. They've got the double cap now, but Little Gremlins, they still just need about, 35 points from this position to close the deal, so they need that denial. They have to take the A-Hill away from them. Can they do it? Apollo gets a great frag there onto Chenzo, perhaps being the play that could set this up. Here's Crazy's coming down onto A-Hill. If they take this one back, I don't see any way that Aim Assist is going to stop them. They got B and C, but they need to get Gremlins off of A.
A is where the battle needs to occur right now. Somebody has to rotate across. They've got A and B. That's most likely going to lock it down. I can't see them taking them both in time. They will not be able to. Little Gremlins close it out. Series 1-1. Little Gremlins keeping themselves in this series.
This right here, this is like... if Splitgate was a bowl of soup, this one is warm, it is hearty, it is delicious.
It's a bowl of soup.
I am enjoying.
Is it a bread bowl? It's a bread bowl, right?
The magic is that there's a lot more to go. You know what I mean? You get those first couple hot sips, you're like, okay, I'm interested, I'm invested. Now we've got a tied series here, and it looks so good. We see the Challenger Series players stepping up. A great match out of Crazies and Apollo, and honestly, I mean, Blitz is the one leading on the KD for the team, so shout out to him. And Vexy just doing what they do best. And we get to see a coordinated team effort almost turn things around for Aim Assist, but not quite yet. And that lingering question now, you of course, going into TDM 2-0, you're like, all right, we just frag out here, take the dub, we're in the playoffs. Not so simple anymore.
No, not so simple anymore, especially when, if I remember correctly, and I'm going to sit here and stare down and nod at camera for a second here because I have a piece of paper that'll tell me this, is what was that TDM kill-death ratio for Crazies and Apollo last week? And that was not actually their strongest. So that's actually one of the areas that they struggled last week as a team. Nobody on the team in TDM actually being able to get to go even, so under a 1.0. Overall as a squad. So this might be a spot where they can open it back up. It looks like they do really well in objective-based games, but also we've only gotten to watch them play one series as a team.
That's
I just
true.
wanted to kind of so really that number means
our stats are not as
that's
that's fair.
At least on those two players, as they've only been in the Pro Series for a week. But I have to look at it then and say the stats for the other two players on the team are season-long stats. So this is one of those ones where somebody is going to have to step up. You're up against Aim Assist. This is going to be a battle. This is going to be a big throwdown here.
And it's on Impact.
Who's going to be able to pull this off? Well, this is, I'm going to say, is still anybody's game. It's been such a close-fought battle back and forth thus far, especially with how close that one got at the end there. I thought Aim Assist was going to come through and do the setup again. And if we watched it in back-to-back weeks, I may just have to walk off set and just be like, you know what, it's over.
Yeah, but you're talking about madness. We are loaded in. We're ready to do our TDM. And in the first 30 seconds, we've got our 7 frags between the two teams. So the action immediately kicks off. And this map, Impact, asymmetrical. You've got all the madness, the drop-down points, the little shack up top. And for Team Deathmatch, it's just find the other guys and fight. But you have so many different areas, so much different terrain to play around that keeping an eye on those corners is going to be huge. Those power weapons become even more important, especially if we see somebody get that shotty in their hands, because we know on Impact it is filthy. It is absolutely filthy.
That Plasma doing a bunch of work there for Klo. 2-1 to start things off. Aim Assist up by 3 thus far. And we'll go down. Crazy going to find him through. The portal takes him out, so the Plasma Rifle will hit the ground. That will be available if anybody can go through and pick it up, but close-fought battle. I mean, this is starting off as close as the previous 2 matches have ended.
Yeah, and we're following with Chenzo, who has that shotgun that we were discussing. Not quite able to do with it what maybe we were hoping, but, well, he's 5-1. So I say that. We just didn't get to see him do it. And there we go. Puts another one of those shells into Crazies, trying to get Aim Assist back up on top. Has the battle rifle as a second one. I mean, those are 2 weapons that together, that's a strong combination. Playing around these portals on the billboards, trying to get a couple more frags.
Find their way through, look for a shot. Just going to make use of this portal for as long as they're giving it. Chenzo eventually going to decide he has to look somewhere else. There's one through a portal, finds the first one. Going to set the portal, comes through, trying to look for the attack on the back line, and gets taken out, turned on. Great option there to try and make that play, but just couldn't pull it off.
We got Booze over here with the assault rifle, battle rifle combination. Plenty of mid-range firepower. Lots of burst. 7-4 so far, and this TDM kind of feels like, we've talked about it. Some teams have tried to play it slow when they get that lead and not bleed out too much, not hit that W key too hard, and that patience seems to be coming through here as the kills not getting racked up quite as fast as, say, in that first TDM we got to see earlier today. Plasma rifle, though, in the hands of Noble Toby. Trying to just find somebody to get on top of. There's Blitz and Apollo. Nice double kill for him. Gets up to that killing spree.
Yeah, 2 come through, gets the double, gets the killing spree. That plasma rifle doing work as always. Portal shut down in the face of Chenzo. He'll have to try and re-aim. Gets a hit on the Crazy. Somebody else gets the finish for him. And now a battle up against Vexy. Shotgun swap, gets it, finds the kill. Apollo going to take him down, and then both, I think it was Apollo and Blitz, just immediately leave in the middle of the death screen, just and through the portal.
Apollo triple, getting that shotty. It's such a, it can turn around those fights so fast, right? I mean, you're just one-tapping people left and right if they get up close to you, and we really get to see where these guys have just done such a good job of staying on top of those power weapons. I think the power weapon control for Little Gremlins has to be a highlight that we keep our eyes on, because they put themselves in situations to make these crazy plays happen, and there off the assist gets up to that killing spree. Tied up. About halfway through, 24-25. Aim assist gets another one there off of Chloe with the SMG. With this shoddy potential for Apollo. Let's see if he can put that last shell in anywhere. It'll count for the squad.
Couple players over there. He wasn't sure quite where. Has a little bit of the panic. Tries to shut the portal. Able to get the Elam with that shotgun. Still in hand. Going to try and see if he can find his way up top. No, he's going to opt to go ahead and go around to the left side here and work his way back through. Making use of that portal, puts a lot of damage over into Chloe, decides to push through, looking to try and get the finish. Chloe will come out. Great shots from Chloe to try and counter and puts him on the run.
Good patience from Chloe there, too. He does get picked by Crazies, but, I mean, I think he played that about as well as he could have, considering he got the jump on him. Coming around the side now onto Booze is Apollo with the SMG. Does get taken down by Noble Toby, so we'll see if he's able to turn that SMG and what's left of it into more as Blitz gets a good shot off onto Chenzo through the portal.
Portal will get closed in his face, and Blitz looking to play the underside here. Up against Booze, will get the win there. Vacates back up top to try and recover, and you know what? Doesn't even need it. Gonna go ahead and jump down, gets an Elam onto Noble Toby. Playing back through, still in the chase, trying to fire through that portal. Unable to find it, and will get taken out from behind by Sir Chenzo, but great effort, a lot of aggression there. We said it before, we've seen teams slow down, especially on this map towards the end of TDMs. We'll watch teams turtle up a lot. It doesn't seem like Little Gremlins want to do that at all. They are still full chase.
And notice where a lot of these fights have been. It's right on top of that assault rifle spawn, too. That power up and control is so huge. A big string of kills in favor of the Little Gremlins. That shotgun in the hands of Crazies is currently at 15 and 10. This is something to keep in mind. There's that SMG spawn. They give it straight to Apollo. We know he's been a very strong player with it. Actually, no. I think Vexy took it on the way out. Okay, so I was wondering if they would give Apollo that SMG, but I suppose he's feeling fine enough without it. Little Gremlins in the lead now, 45-37, potentially putting themselves into that match point situation against Aim Assist, and that's a lot to turn around because Apollo, he's still got that shotgun. They've taken the power weapons away from them so many times.
They're doing such a great job here. That's another killing spree that went the way of Apollo. We're on board with Blitz now as they're trying to close this one out. 2 kills to go, 11 needed for Aim Assist. Little Gremlins looking to take control of this series, push us into that 4th map with them on advantage, trying to set up the possibility for them to get out of that 7th seed and back up into the playoff contention and take Aim Assist's ability to do that away. This is...
That's
Splitgate. I don't. It's one of those things where we expect it to go one way, and the team's just stepping up huge.
The map awareness, the map awareness, and the timer awareness on the power weapon respawns. I was saying it at the start of that round, and Little Gremlins have continued to do a fantastic job of holding down those places that matter. Even though we always talk about TDM not being the objective-based map, the objectives oftentimes are those power weapons, especially on Impact, where you have the SMG and the shoddy in play. You can't say enough things about the leverage that gives you when you're able to get both of those weapons for your squad, and everybody just has to run away from you the whole time. Nobody wants to get up and fight you when you have the shoddy.
It came down really to the other side, too, on the side of Little Gremlins, was their ability to stay alive. And it wasn't even necessarily all the players. Everybody was getting kills. But the big piece was there was one player with 5 deaths, the other one with 8, and that will make up a huge difference. Your map awareness, knowing where the other team is, being able to get out of dodge. We watched them many times run away, low shields, portal out, make it to the top, jump down, whatever they need to do. They may engage somebody else, but they get away from the imminent danger that they're in. Really good job of getting out of bad situations and back into ones that they have the advantage on.
Yeah, and with all of that, Little Gremlins find themselves up 2-1 now. One more map win will keep that dream alive. Of course, we know they have a very difficult match tomorrow against Portal Demons. But hey, if they can have an upset here, and then you go plus Ultra Instinct, whatever it is that brings you,
both.
You probably end up needing both. Maybe get one for all in there as well. It turned it around. All of a sudden, you could pick yourself up.
That might be a bit too far.
Maybe too far.
That one might be.
You might shatter the universe at that point. But my point is, there is that window, that tiny sliver of hope for Little Gremlins. They're going to keep fighting. They're not ready to give up. Not yet.
Well, Club Silo, King of the Hill. So far, Little Gremlins in the lead here once again. They seem to start every map in the lead, in control, and they're doing that once again, still building on this lead as they approach 30, just off of that mark. Finally, Aim Assist going to get in there, start getting some points of their own, but a great opening run there for Little Gremlins.
Yeah, that TDM turnaround has to give you a little bit of an adrenaline rush kick, you know. I imagine that victory screen popped up and they're all in the call. It's just fist pumps all around. Yeah, okay, we got this. We got 2-1. Let's close it out. We don't need game 5. Let's bring it. And Club Silo is one of those maps that we saw banned a lot early on in the season. It was kind of brought out, so we started like, oh, it's like a meme play. Revenge Tour against Portal Demons was where it popped up, I think, the first time. And then didn't really see it a lot until last week. Now it's come up a few times.
Does 360 punch him in the head?
Yeah. Welcome to Splitgate.
Unlucky. A falling man doing 360s for fun just happens to land on top of your head, and it does involve a broken neck. That's an immediate elim.
He's like, okay, I got this under control, trying to hold the corners.
Kind of.
The reaction time a little too sharp, though, out of Booze and Chloe.
He thought he had it. He was sitting there, he's like, man, I'm giga-braining this. I have got this locked down. Unfortunately, the aim wasn't quite there to pull the play off. On board now with Toby. He's looking for some shots down. I think he's got Blitz right below him. Going to fall in. There's a punch. Gets the finish. Vexy gets finished off somewhere else. I guess he had done a shot on Vexy before rotating. They gets credit for that one as well. Nobody to line up here. Toby, why don't you have the vision that we have? There's no one coming, man.
Are you telling me that you can't just see everybody in the game? You have to actually move around and find people? Yeah, that's true. We do have the good life over here on the stream. We get to see all the info because, well, it's a fast game. There's a lot to keep track of. Shout out to the production team and our observer crew as they've followed a pretty crazy amount of stuff the last couple months here on the SPS. We have eyes on Chloe looking down with that sniper, however, getting up to that killing spree.
There's another double. The triple kill comes through, going off with that sniper. Chloe just bullet for bullet, hit for hit, taking everyone down so far. Looking to try and set himself up another shot. Hasn't been able to find a line on anybody quite yet, though. Left Blitz as he comes around this corner, gets him right before he can get through that portal. Another great shot from Chloe. Aim Assist currently in the lead, 95-63, and really those kills from Chloe making up a bunch of that as he continued to stagger the team off respawns.
Aim Assist getting that momentum going. Feels nice. They're locking down this corner room. We've talked about how this was a huge contention point in that first match earlier. This little corner spot where you can kind of block these walls and hold these angles, and it makes it very difficult. You don't normally have to W key into fights in Splitgate. You can almost always find a way to do it with portals, but here, this is just one particular spot where you're going to have to, exercise some mental floss a little bit. Find a way to break this open, and if you can't, just get ready for whatever's coming next.
I like the strategy here of what they're doing is they're basically blocking off one wall with their portals while leaving the other wall completely open, right? He goes, they're not coming through here. I just aim at the other wall, and then if a grenade comes in and closes my portal, I just reopen my portal on that wall and close the one off. You kind of funnel their portals into one area or funnel them into having to come through the doorways to fight you. So really job well done there on holding that defensively, and they got a ton of points. They were rewarded greatly for that. Now over double, coming up on triple the score of Little Gremlins.
Aim Assist doing a fantastic job of trying to assert themselves here. They want to go to game 5. They want to turn this one around. Great shot out of the air. Headshots crazies while he's dropping. Gets the collection agency off the double kill. And Aim Assist cruising past 170 points. They're getting within striking distance when you get that one hill left to take the dub, and you just kind of bring everybody in, lock it down. Let's see if they can make that happen. He's going to finally get punched out. Blitz actually going on a tear there. Triple kill for him, and then Apollo for the last one.
I mean, that's what they needed. You need to not allow anyone on Aim Assist, apparently, to hold the sniper rifle. All of them are monsters when they do get a hold of it. That big triple kill is going to open up a little bit of time for Little Gremlins, but Hill off the respawns, right back into control for Aim Assist as they continue to generate points on the board. Opening that up. Still haven't quite reached that triple LG's point line yet, but they've been getting very close on multiple runs at it.
Yeah, for sure. And they did a good job of taking that hill control right there, but I don't know if it was because it had moved at that exact same time, but sometimes we see a player move in, they'll make a big play, they'll get those frags, and then step off. Nice kaleidoscope, though. This is what we're talking about. But you got to get these frags and then stay on the hill. Make sure you maintain hill control. You need those points. You need those points a whole lot more than you need the frags right now.
Able to get quite a few, though. They brought it within 80 before Aim Assist gets back in control of the points. Be on board with Toby. Again, trying to find somebody he can take a shot at. He sees his teammate go down in the corner, knows that at least one is there, one above, and this is where we start hitting the music starts playing. One goes in one portal, comes out another. He enters the left side of the hallway, pops out the right side of the hallway. What is it? The Benny Hill theme music starts playing. Is this the moment?
Turns into madness. Little game of hot potato with the hill control. Aim Assist have still managed to keep this lead quite large, but Little Gremlins are picking up a few points here and there. This could be that momentum we talk about. I think that would be a pretty Herculean effort out of them to bring it back, as Aim Assist, one full hill of time will give them the dub. So they need to be able to contest that. They need to get on top of that, maybe try to drag out some crazy overtime scenario, but thus far Aim Assist has been getting it done, and even there, as their whole team gets wiped except for Chloe, he is on the hill. He's getting time for the team. He has that situational awareness to be where he needs to, and thus far, taking out everybody that's trying to come challenge him.
It's feeling like we're gonna get that game 5, Nathaniel. This is feeling like a match where both teams know that it is a must-win series for them. Neither one of them wants to give up the ground, and they're trading back and forth. Little Gremlin's not necessarily out of this one yet, but we're getting down to that point where it's getting real close to closing it out for Aim Assist to send us into game 5. Currently, though, in control of the hill is Little Gremlins. They were for the moment. Nobody on the hill at right this second, and it will actually go to Aim Assist. And a little bit of exchanges and rotations from both teams opens that hill up.
Now we see Chenzo there getting punched out by Blitz as they've been on the run, trying to get those last couple of points. Little Gremlins has been able to get some time here, however. Contesting was Noble Toby. He gets picked. There's Booze knocked out by Apollo. And Little Gremlins continue to grab a couple seconds here. Chenzo finally is the one that unseats that hill. And, well, let's just see as that next one moves over. But, you know, he just takes the kill and walks away. And that's where I'm like,
a hill. There was still 2 seconds there of time that you could have got. Those little things are things that we kind of harp on a little bit. You could have reloaded the gun on the point, man.
That's a very astute
believe it or not, reloading works inside of the hill.
Yeah. Well, okay. We just need the 15 more seconds. We'll get it off the next one. But Little Gremlins continuing to fight. A lot of tenacity being shown by the underdog team here as they continue to slowly crawl their way back up. But I have to agree with you. I mean, it's denying them getting 14 seconds while they still need another full hill in order to complete this comeback. Actually, a little more than that still, as 1 minute of time would not be enough from that.
Who knows? Maybe they push it all the way. We get an OT situation, and we get to watch it play out.
My head will explode. I'm gonna lose it here if Little Gremlins turns this map around. I'm already mentally preparing myself for the epic game 5, just because I want it. I'm gonna admit it. I'm greedy, Supersonic. I want that 3-2 decider for this crazy match.
Yeah, on a must-win series like this, where there's a lot riding on the line for both teams. you have to want it to go to 5 here. You gotta want to battle for that one, and it's just a lot better experience and a little bit more hype for everyone. So we got to get to that game 5. They're looking to do it.
We're going there.
They will do it. Amosys closes it out. Game 5 will be coming your way here momentarily as that one comes to an end. Amosys able to finally hold off Little Gremlins' run. It looked like Little Gremlins was going to do at the start of that when they started in the lead again. I was like, this isn't what's happening, right? We're not about to see a 3-1 finish in the series score with Little Gremlins just doing a 3-game run.
They get close to that 200-point mark, and I'm thinking, okay, this is it. If they get to the next hill and don't give up 6 seconds of it, they could control that final hill and take it all the way to that comeback possibly. But we do end up going to Game 5, so that means it's going to be domination. I'm sure I'll be reminded of the map at some point soon. I'm all over the place right now. It's going to be Crag. So, crazy map, lots of stuff all over, and this is one where we've heard those conversations where there's just so many different things that can end up happening on Crag. So I think it's a fitting one for this one to end because this match has been chaotic.
Yeah, and this is going to be one of those maps, as you're kind of alluding to. It's a chaotic map. It's not one of the ones. It's a perfectly symmetrical map. There's corridors, a lot of spots for the SMG, for the shotgun to really kind of shine. There's a lot of moments that we're going to be able to see here, and this is going to be a battle. This is definitely. I actually like this as a map 5. I think I like kind of the chaotic nature of Crag to kind of sum it up. Who's more in control of the chaos?
Yeah. Getting into that flow, getting into that rhythm is going to be a huge factor, especially when you're spread out on a map like that too. We've seen some wild team deathmatch games get played there because at that point, then it's just like, all right, where's my favorite spot to go get into these fights? Because there are, as you mentioned, a lot of those tight corridors. There's a lot of those spaces that we can use. But we are loading in, and this one's going to decide it for these two teams. The potential, do you want to have that opportunity to save yourself for Little Gremlins? A win here could still open things up for them if they can upset tomorrow as well. But for Amosys, a win here it's must win. You absolutely need it. You want to start thinking about the playoffs. You want to get ready for that bracket. A win here is essential for making that happen.
Opening with this rocket launcher, 2 shots have been fired and nothing to come of it. I mean, it's better to waste them than nothing at all. Finally, a kill will come through for Noble Toby with that rocket launcher. Has the opportunity to use it again. Going to come back around. He has the shotgun as his secondary backup. He will get the finish on Blitz from range with that shotgun. Gets 40 damage. The shotty is so strong. Even at range, you need to fear the shotgun in Splitgate, and that's the kind of shotgun I like.
That's why they only give you a couple of shots with it. They don't. You're not picking up that shotgun and having 14 reserve ammo. No, it's okay. Go get your kills, and then you're gonna have to play the game a little more normally like everybody else again. I think that's why you ended up missing those rockets, because frankly speaking, having the shotgun and the rocket launcher at the same time,
felt bad.
Come on.
He just felt bad about having it, and it's clearly what was going on. What? Oh, there's a portal there. I better check it real quick. Let me throw a shotgun shell through it. Oh, got a collection agency. How convenient.
Nice. We got aim assist with 2 hills under control, 125 to 47 now. Noble Toby been doing very well for himself at the start of this one. Gets into that SMG, then the BR still had that shotty. And this power weapon control by aim assist has devastated the opponent. How do you try to contest a hill when the guy holding it down has a shotgun and then a rocket launcher and then the SMG and it now has the BR as well? So you're not necessarily trying to take him out from afar either. And there gets up behind Blitz, but Boo's already on top of it with a double kill. And aim assist is they're off to a very strong start on this domination round.
Yeah, they haven't really done the triple cap, but they're going through and they're just winning every engagement. Their level of control over power weapon spawns thus far has been flawless. I don't know, to be honest, if anybody on the other side has touched a power weapon yet this game. At least not one with any ammo left in it.
That's a very good question to ask. Little Gremlins managed to get to 2 hill control, and being down 100 points this early on, not that big of a deal. We know that the goal being 700, there's still quite a ways to go. You want to just avoid getting triple capped on for a minute, as that's usually what ends up burying a team. Had the rocket launcher in his hands, but Serchenzo not able to do a whole lot with it. That weapon going into Crazy's hands, We'll see what he can get done as we're following Apollo with that SMG and sniper combo. Apollo has been absolutely filthy with that SMG. Let's see what he can do over here. Looks through that tight doorway, has 3 opponents on the other side. Makes it very dangerous, but, well, with the sniper, he gets at least 1.
Trying to find another one. The team comes around from the backside. They will end up taking him out. That's Noble Toby that's going to get the kill. Blitz taken down by the shotgun. Portaling through now is Chenzo. Finds another one, gets the double. Looking to see if he can get on point. Trying to capture B. Is able to decap it. Now looking to try and take it over in favor of aim assist. They will do just that. A and B hold for them as they start to open that lead up once again. They continue to maintain that 2-point hold, and they continue to just dominate with these power weapons. Their timing of getting to the power weapon while not giving up a lot of time, they're not trading off a lot of time on hill to go out and do that. Double kill once again. Never mind, make it a triple, just going off. Chenzo, I was going to say Chenzo's unstoppable. He's been stopped 3 times, but every time we're on, he's getting a collection agency.
Yeah, 17-3 here for this domination round. He's been opening it up. We're seeing him use really good portaling by Chenzo. His movement is incredible, but just being able to make that movement happen and use those power weapons in such good tandem is why. That's how you get to that 19-4 mark. So setting the team up nicely, but aim assist need to get some hill control back. It's been a decent power struggle coming out of Little Gremlins. They've been just barely behind this whole round, but not so far behind that a full wipe can't, possibly hand the game back to them. They've got A and B trying to get that triple cap, and they will get shut down.
Battle in the hallway here, on board with Booze. He's going to make the drop in behind Toby. Nobody to find there as they make their way out onto the hill. Player goes down, looks up to the top, able to get a quick flick around onto Vexy, but Apollo gets it from the other side.
And we go back over to Chenzo, who's trying to put together his highlight reel on this match. Getting up behind Crazies. Crazies takes the portal option out. Still had actually eyes on that next transition point, but Booze, I think, came in from behind and kind of set him up to be able to continue to hold down this hill. You definitely want to keep that B hill in your hands. They've got that as well as C. And Chenzo, wow, it is just fun to watch this guy kind of pop off, isn't it, huh? He's got some moves.
He's definitely been popping off and able to get to the rocket launcher once again. What is that? He's had 5 deaths? Making a 5th killing spree of the game for him. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, well, he almost got Skyrim'd right back there onto onto the wagon, but manages to help keep the team in the lead. There's Apollo, 21-9, and we've been seeing him make a couple of good plays too. He's got the shotty in his hands. We know he loves that SMG, but they've got the double cap. Still plenty of time to go in this game. Scores are close enough that we're not worried just yet. You don't really start sweating until the other team hits 600. I think that's where the pressure really kicks up a notch.
That's definitely the point where it kicks in. Right now, though, Little Gremlins making sure that they keep this close. Once again, never making themselves or leaving themselves in a point where it feels like they're out of the game. Not letting it ever get completely out of control. Bit of a lead here opening up once again, though. Aim assist in control of 2 hills. That C hill still up for grabs. Through the portal comes the shotgun, and there's the triple cap. Aim assist finally able to get that on lock. There's another shotgun kill coming around to support Chloe with the BR. Doesn't need it. Paul's got it. He doesn't need your help.
When you're able to do that, they take that hill, they secure the triple cap, they see the enemy is right outside. They're like, okay, their whole team's there. Let's just push into them.
Stagger them now.
Because that's the last thing they're expecting. Like, okay, well, maybe they'll hold the hill. Everybody will spread out. It's going to be difficult for us to engage. But then they actually push out onto you. There's a collection agency for Noble Toby off the back of another double kill. Getting a body shot afterwards. They've still got B and C, and they're about to hit that 600 mark. So final stretch for aim assist. They want to secure their spot in that playoff bracket. They want to knock down the only team that really has a chance of unseating them in Little Gremlins. Can they do it here and now? For the Little Gremlins, they're going to need a triple cap for a while to swing it back.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where if it happens here, hey, you're currently set up to upset what we consider the biggest comeback win of Splitgate this far. You are set up. The moment is there for you to try and pull this off. This would be
put that thought in the back of my mind.
I have to put it out there. They're in position to do it. Can they do it?
Before. It has happened before, so we can't take it off the table, but aim assist currently holding A and C, looking strong. Most of the team getting wiped there except for Noble Toby, who's still trying to be a little thorn in the side here. For Apollo Vexy's going to get him, and they've got A and B, but they need the triple cap. Aim assist can win this with just one hill at the moment. They've unseated it. And they've got the A site back. Okay, I can't breathe when I see that aim assist having no hills with this scoreline. It's giving me flashbacks. I can't handle it. I can't handle it, Supersonic.
A hill being taken. They're currently trying to flip back B. No, B partially triple cap for Little Gremlins. This is the start of it. Up, well, they're there with the shotgun. He had the shotgun. I thought it was the start of it. Okay, 3 of them down, 4 of them down. This is, and that's all she wrote.
There's the emote going for a little flex action on the hill. Says, I see those respawn timers. I know they can't get here. And aim assist will win this match 3-2. But I have to say, of course we talk about relegation. We talk about all the stuff that's not always super great, and we have to talk about it because it's a part of the tournament. But what two teams could we have possibly said have made such strides in these matches down the stretch where I don't know who's gonna take them out in Challenger, right? I look forward to seeing some more Little Gremlins action in the future.
I don't know. Did you remember the 2 players that came up from Challengers?
I'm just saying, if they've got
3. We had 3 come up from Challenger.
If they've taken the best players from Challenger, well, then I guess it just who else from Challenger ends up popping off next season.
Yeah, that's the scary thing is that the Challenger players that have come up so far, Apollo and Crazies, have definitely made a huge impact. A lot of these team changes have had a positive impact for the squad. So as much as these teams are taking it, I'm going to leave it open. I'm going to say that I'm excited to see what the competition of the Challenger Series is going to bring up, and really I want to see them push it. I want to see them push these teams to have to say, no, we are the Pro Series team. Push them to the limit.
Yeah. I could not agree more. And we're going to bring Endo back on as we reach the end of this match. And we were talking about the implications here. This series was really important for aim assist. Now, I think they're in that comfortable, safe spot where they're thinking, okay, maybe we're not the highest seed team, but they can get their eyes set on the playoffs.
Yeah, and it didn't maybe go exactly according to plan for aim assist, but they did get the win, and I believe they've clinched a spot on the playoffs, like you guys were mentioning. But yeah, what did I say? There was no way this is going to be a 3-0 in either direction. That was a very gritty match for sure.
Yeah, that was one of those back and forth. There was times where both teams were in control. It was a struggle match all the way to the end. Even at the point where I was starting off jokingly setting up, be like, oh, they have the setup to, upset even last week's crazy upset, and then it started, and I was like, oh no, we can't possibly survive another one of these. Great battle all the way to the end. I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know that we have 100% confirmation, but I do believe that they are in that number 7 seed. So I'm looking forward to seeing them throw down in the challengers, the relegation.
The relegation bracket.
There's a championship, and then there's the challengers, and then the relegation. I can't keep them straight in my head. But when we get to the relegation match, that'll be the final broadcast, I believe, actually for the season. So that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, and well, when we talk about it, we've seen the improvements that these teams have been able to make. And I wanted to ask you, Noble Toby, I think, had a really good pop-off at the end there. I think he was the roster change that ended up coming onto their team, but he's definitely found a place with this squad, and I feel like we got to be kind of excited about aim assist because the biggest thing we did talking about this match in the build-up was that they weren't the top team in the launch season, but they finished as close to the top as they really could have without winning it all at the end. So are we expecting them maybe catch fire?
Yeah, I feel like I would prefer to finish strongly than, having the amazing start and then just washing out. Aim assist, they've had some ups and downs, and tomorrow they face Mushroom Hunters. Never assume you're just going to win. You got to go out and execute no matter who you're playing. But they're facing the bottom seed team. We would assume they win that one, so they're going to be 4-3 going into the playoffs, and with some momentum on their side. So it's not a horrible place to be, even if they only get the 6th seed.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of look at it also, and we talked about different teams randomly throughout the season of strength of schedule, and they were the team we were like, man, you guys really kind of caught that early strength of schedule, the rough one, right? They get to close it out with these 2 later ones, but these are ones that I was also expecting to see them. You asked me at the beginning of the season, I would say aim assist takes that 3-0 just off of a gut reaction, and they didn't. They were, Little Gremlins was in that series the entire time. So one of those ones that brings up questions. What's it look like tomorrow against Mushroom Hunters? Now it's a battle of where am I going to finish for my seeding? I don't just hand this W to aim assist. So I'm excited to see what that matchup's going to look like tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I think, Endo, it's probably fair to say, as much as we've got positive things to take away from Mushroom Hunters and Little Gremlins, for aim assist after a match like this, they probably want to finish a little strong, right? I think it's fair to say you want to have that momentum, and I think that's the biggest thing when we talked about strength of schedule, because obviously we had that miracle scenario planned out, like theoretically Little Gremlins, but at some point, yeah, their final match would have been against Portal Demons, so yeah.
Yeah, the Portal Demons game, that's going to be certainly be an uphill battle. One that Portal Demons will want to use to get some momentum on their end as well, to keep, because it's going to be super competitive. This is kind of turning out to be a very top heavy league. A lot of skill at the top half of SPS, and then everything else has been kind of fighting for scraps. So. Yeah, any upsets that happen will truly be upsets now that we're seeing what these teams are all about.
Yeah, WGL did their job earlier. They're the first 5-1 team. Now we get to go to the rest of the 4-1 squads. We're going to go to a break, ladies and gentlemen. When we return, more Splitgate action. You're watching the Splitgate Pro Series.
And altered his plan mid-play, and
don't
paid
think
for
twice.
paid for it. You gotta complete the play that you started. You can't reset that in middle of the play. Collection agency, though. Oh, no notes yet, because No Sleep wasn't performing at this level, but now they are, right? So if they've already played No Sleep and they've already played Portal Demons, maybe somebody in production could find that out for me.
What's we're gonna have a really interesting conversation with Endo here. The impact by K-Jules immediately prevalent. No Sleep up 128 to 40 over Portal Demons, the #1 undefeated team in the SP. As there's a triple kill for Visions,
leaving us with Crag, King of the Hill. So we'll see if this is going to play into it. Opening a couple kills there. There's a double as we start things out on top side for K-Jules, making a triple. It is the only thing that he knows. And he's going to look for a shot. Quick one over, finds one, gets a second one on the cleanup, comes in. They got the 2-on-1. He gets the triple, looking for the quad. He has the kaleidoscope. Nice.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Splitgate Pro Series. I'm Nathanius, joined by Supersonic, and we've had a couple great matches so far today. We got to see kind of going to the wire there, that last one. We were talking about the potential for all the things that could happen, but we end up with a little bit more. Okay, we have instead just a more clear idea of where things are going to go.
Get a little bit better idea of what the bottom side of the bracket relegation is going to look like. Don't have the full picture yet. We still got to get through 2 more matches today. We still got 4 more matchups tomorrow to get through to finish that out, and then we'll have the bracket. We'll know where everybody sits. But this next one, a lot riding on this one, Nathanius.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, we've got Revenge Tour, who are 4-1. We know that they're really strong. They've been a very powerful team this season. But are they on the level of the other 2 top teams? Do they belong up there with Portal Demons and with WGL? And on the other side, No Sleep, they just had that great 3-0 against Portal Demons, handed them the first L last week. K. Jules moving over to that roster seems to have had a huge impact. So I don't know. This
Jules having an impact upon a squad.
He
I
is
couldn't
pretty
possibly imagine it. Yeah, he's all right. He's pretty solid at the game.
Yeah, we're going to be bringing Endo back on, who, I'm just going to say this. I don't like to speak for other people super often, but Endo, I'm going to assume you agree with us. K. Jules, bit of an impact player moving over to No Sleep.
That's what happened last week. No Sleep, kind of a middling team before K. Jules was introduced into the squad. And then they came out as like a total powerhouse. And, you know, the only change being, of course, K. Jules going into the squad. So, I mean, it was a team win. Those were team wins, no doubt. K. Jules can't win it by himself, but he can make all the difference. So you look at these stats, man, 1.01 away from a 2.0 KDA. I guess that compliments also Mason there, right? I mean, yeah, K. Jules, complete player. He's a game changer.
Yeah, these stats, I mean, kind of tell that story. We know two big powerhouse players, but I think what Endo was saying earlier really rings true. Supersonic, he elevated the team. Everybody ended up popping off when K. Jules was doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. You saw them you could see it was just kind of a revitalized squad. They were going off, especially when you start looking at the objective-based modes, which when we look at K. Jules versus Mason here, you can definitely tell that both of them a bit more of the objective play. If only 1.1 is kill death ratio is coming out of TDM, 1.99 on the KDA on the other side. They show up big in those objective plays where they know how to play, they know how to route for those objective points. Things get a little bit looser, but still over a 1.0 when they are in those TDM matches. These guys are both impact players for the teams. Mason having probably just as much as impact as K. Jules for No Sleep, just as much for the side of Revenge Tour.
Yeah, and I guess this kind of goes back to what you were saying. Our league's becoming really top heavy. There's not just one team that seems to be untouchable. We've got multiple teams that the bottom half they can't really seem to crack them. But against each other, we're left with a lot of question marks about who is the number one team. Do you think that if Revenge Tour takes this, that we can say they're on that level with them, even though maybe it was a bit of a rougher path?
Yeah, Revenge Tour also, that squad is no slouch either. Being 4-1 in the SPS is no minor feat. I'm looking at No Sleep though, because like they've totally blew us away last week. Revenge Tour, I could definitely see a world where Revenge Tour wins. I'm leaning towards No Sleep though, because they just have that overwhelming factor that they can just totally take over games. So I'd say I lean over to No Sleep, and them being one of the top 3 teams at least.
Yeah, I think that's totally reasonable. We're taking a look at the standings. Now, we'll keep in mind, WGL, they've played that extra match. We know that they're at the top, but that win percentage on the maps is something to keep in mind, too. Revenge Tour, a win here would put them at 5-1, but if they could do it with the 3-0, if it was a clean sweep, then we get a little bit closer to them contesting that seeding. However, probably fair to say, Supersonic, that No Sleep is not going to get 3-0'd here.
I can't see No Sleep getting 3-0'd. And this is one of those things where we talk about it being top-heavy, and we talk about all the talent being in one area. A player like K. Jules making a shift onto a team like No Sleep, we've seen the impact he's had and how much that's elevated the team. So it only makes me more excited also as this season progresses and what do teams look like when we get into next season and Challenger Series get involved and everything else. That's getting a little bit ahead of everything. We're going to take a look at the maps real quick here. Stadium into Atlantis, Highwind, and if we do make it through 3, we'll be taking a look at Abyss and Helix, following the normal order that we always do: King of the Hill, Dom, TDM, King of the Hill, Dom. So,
we've had a couple games on Stadium as we get these maps, and I feel like we haven't had a lot of King of the Hill specifically on Stadium though. So that's kind of it.
I feel like we've had like TDMs in Domination.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I've seen King of the Hill. Endo, can you correct us on that? But it doesn't feel like we've really seen the King of the Hill on
this
Stadium
map lineup in general seems
we haven't seen
very
Stadium very much at all.
Yeah. So we go Stadium, then Atlantis Domination, and we know that Atlantis, you kind of have to play that map differently than all the other ones. Yeah. So I think that sets us up for a very interesting and stressful for the players, but perhaps that makes the viewing
all the better for
a
us.
little more exciting.
Yes,
for us.
I'm okay with player stress if it involves in us having a good time on our end. That's what we're really here for, is to just put them through as much stress as possible to make us all feel good.
Hey, that's competition, right? They get money, win or lose. This best of 5. We always like to remind y'all, like $1,000 for the win, $250 for the L, but somebody has to come out on top. And I think, Endo, we can probably agree that if No Sleep gets this upset, or maybe we can't call it that anymore after their performance last week, 3-0ing Portal Demons. But if they end up taking this dub, then we have to look at them as serious contenders in those playoffs.
Yeah, and then on the other side of the coin is also true. If No Sleep loses, then they're 3-3. They're tied with another team. I forget who it was, but they're not looking to contend for a potential bye and for those top 2 seeds. That's what they're playing for. Like, they have a chance to get a top 2 first round bye, and if they lose, then you're going to be on the bottom half.
Well,
having a bye would be huge.
Having a bye would definitely make an impact. So this is there's quite a bit. There's going to be quite a bit riding on this. Again, all the games today, a lot riding on it. This one though, quite a bit for both of these teams, and I think that this one again, just like last game, could really go the distance. This could go either way. This is 2 teams that are going to throw down all the way to the end.
Yeah, should be a titanic struggle. Let's get into it. Thank you so much for your insights, Endo. We'll check in with you after the series is complete, but we're hearing this one is just about ready to start. They went through all the ready checks in the lobby. Just in case anybody wanted to know, they love to use all of their emotes while they're getting ready for it to start. Having a little bit of a dance-off in the lobby, but we're loaded in. We're ready to start this off as King of the Hill on Stadium.
Immediate jump through. That's going to be K-Jules that we started off with. He ends up getting taken out. So over to Mason we go. Bat in hand, trying to find one. Swing and a miss, and he'll get taken out by Cornbread.
Cornbread, one of the other big frag players that we've been talking about from No Sleep, was somebody that could do quite a bit. I think him, Visions, and Woodham have been a great squad together, but K-Jules kind of comes in. He's got that star power. He's got that X factor about him. When you see him running near you, you just feel a little bit inspired. And I'll also
or terrified, depending on which team you're on.
Good point. Good point. On the other side, we got Mason over here who gets another double kill, starting things off 6-1 for his squad, getting those frags up. But remember, we want to be getting on that hill. We want to make sure we can turn those kills into points whenever possible.
3 down from the side of Revenge Tour. Tough contested battle thus far, going point for point, tick for tack, back and forth. 2 down on both sides here once again. We're still watching Visions, who's waiting for an opportunity, picks up the bat, tries to come through, but Mason able to go ahead, back up, create that distance that he needed to get away from that bat, get the finish. A couple shots coming in from the left side there. K-Jules trying to figure out exactly where those were coming in from. Gets the double kills. He gets a shot into one of the players. Teammate gets the finish, and he does go down to Charmander on that left side. Bat back in hand now for Woodham. Gets one, and nobody else there for him to send another swing in.
Yeah, I was going to say, Revenge Tour's team, I mean, they've been one of those more fun guys to watch going up against everybody throughout this season. Charmander especially been a very strong player, but we get to see Woodham now on that killing spree. Big double kill, gets strafe, and he has that bat. So while they're getting that time on the hill, Woodham, I won't lie. If you've been watching the SPS, I've been fanboying over Woodham all season long. He's just a devastating player who is very dangerous, can sometimes be overlooked, and kind of always gets onto the objective here. That hill control, beautiful for him while everybody else is fighting all over the map.
They're doing a great job of how much time they got on this hill. This being one of the harder hills to hold on Stadium up there. So many sight lines open from all sides. You've got to basically take control of the entire upper level to try and prevent any shots from coming through. And they've maximized as much time as they possibly could up there. Once again, in control of the hill. Another 30 seconds left on it. They continue to just gain more and more time. Visions will eventually get shot down, ripped off the top there. Not sure if anybody else is really going to be able to take control of this before that one runs out. I would expect both teams to kind of let this one time its way out. They get 1 point on it from Revenge Tour, and that'll probably be it before it switches.
Gets a nice bat kill there onto Mason is Cornbread. Currently 10-5 on the KD side of things. Battle rifle about to spawn over for a teammate. Mason might be the one picking that up. Gets the bat kill, but does end up trading against the punch. A little painful there off that killing spree, but so far, No Sleep holding a nice lead here, 82-39. Look, It's K-Jules 16 and 9. Doesn't really have the objective points. I think they just let him loose. Like, all right, just go do your thing. Everybody else, we're going to play the objective. Woodham and Visions are going to be a little more objective focused this time around. Just get it done, and so far that's what they've been able to do. 86 to 43. Not a bad start to them at all here. Revenge Tour is able to still get some time, though, despite a couple of their players getting wiped. So trying to keep that focus on the objective at least as much as they can, Super.
Here comes the push from K-Jules. He's going to make his way back up into the top here, see if he can turn this corner and turn it into something. Going to try and make use of those portals. In the end, though, Strafe going to make a little bit better use of his portals than he did. He'll find him through that corner, gets the Elim, and still, yeah, you know, this one not as close as I thought it was going to be at this point. No Sleep really kind of in control in the overall, and it really came off of that harder to hold hill in the top mid. 2 hills ago, really opened up the lead there, and they've been able to maintain it. Not a massive lead, but they're able to just keep that pacing and continue to open it up slowly.
Now Cornbread, 14 and we're watching through his eyes now, has that SMG, maintaining that hill control for the squad, getting more time on the clock for No Sleep. Has a couple portals to block off the flank, but Strafe coming down the stairs on the other side, getting into his face. There's Swooty helping to clean it up, and that should give Revenge Tour a little bit more time. But not too much of a gap built up here just yet. If we're able to get the rest of this hill, that would bode very well for them.
On with Swooty, he's one of 2 people up. He goes down straight. Last one left alive as Mason comes up off of spawn. They are able to trade out, though, so they get 2 Elims on the side of No Sleep, which should go ahead and keep it about even. A little stagnant for the moment. Next hill comes up in 1 second. It is going to swap. Nobody in control of that hill quite yet. A few seconds, it will fall to No Sleep. That's going to be Woodham who gets on point as K-Jules gets a bat but cannot make use of it before Charmander is able to catch him from the side.
Man, Stadium is there's just so, it's such a fast map. You can get from side to side very easily, very quickly. If you've been playing Splitgate, you've probably played a bajillion matches on this one, been around forever. Of course, we've had a couple of the changes coming in for the season this year, but this is that level of familiarity where everybody's moving so fast. It's just constant frag out action across the board. Everybody's racking them up this game.
I mean, really, every map in Splitgate plays
That's
at
true.
breakneck
True.
speed. However, if you're just getting here and maybe you aren't as familiar, this one plays a little bit quicker than some of the others.
Yeah.
There's a just ton of speed all the time, and here comes the press. K-Jules gets advantage, knows that he has him in a disadvantageous position, goes ahead, makes the press, gets the finish there. Shots coming out. We're still here with K-Jules as he's got the bat in hand once again. He's going to go ahead and go back up top, realizes that he was going to not have an opportunity to get swing. This time, though, he comes in a little late. Delay it. You know what? I'm not going to have the first chance. I'll bet if I wait until I hear some shots, I can jump down there, take another opportunity at it. Does this, that, gets rewarded for it, finds himself another kill, and currently in control of this hill. 30 and 15 now for K-Jules.
K-Jules like, is my game bugging out? It says I'm on the hill, getting an objective time up as he's holding it together with that plasma rifle and that bat, like you were saying, in the secondary. This is a lot of time to pick up for the team. Very well done. Almost gets Charmander up there, but unable to secure the kill. Charmander, we know, one of the better fragging players for Revenge Tour, but we are definitely seeing the strength of this renewed No Sleep roster. Kill action agency for K-Jules. This man popping off.
This is, like, K-Jules after the swap is got, like, revitalized energy and just going off. He's unstoppable. This is Season 1, Week 1 form K-Jules that we're watching right now. Fight it out since he's made this swap to No Sleep. 36 and 15 now. You know what? Just keep it going. Make it 37. Why not? 38 maybe? Swooty, you want some too? He's trying to give it to you. Able to get out of there. Swooty makes the run for it.
Oh,
Never mind.
fantastic. Wow,
Oh.
K-Jules. All right. Well, he wanted to turn this one into his highlight reel. No Sleep. Up about 80 points so far. Of course, got to get on that hill once K-Jules mobs up the whole entire enemy team. Charmander brings an end to the party.
And that's actually 3 kills all at the same time. That should open up a little bit of play time for Revenge Tour to go ahead and get back into this one, though they go down 3 immediately following that. So both teams trading out. The better end of that, though, falls to No Sleep once again. Bat in hand, there's one. Looking for a second, can't get it. Swooty's going to stop him.
See that camera movement at the end there? Trying to get a little juke action with that bat. Not able to make it happen, but you love to see it. You love to see the attempt come through. Cornbread's going to get the frag onto Swooty. We go over to Charmander, who's trying to hold the entrance to this portal for K-Jules, and he takes him out of the equation. Charmander trying to unseat that heavy momentum-based play coming out of K-Jules, who's already got that 40 bomb in this map.
At 41 now, actually. We're on with Charmander, though, who's got to be able to get something going here. Somebody on the side of Revenge Tour has got to get them back into this one. They've let this balloon a little far now. 215 to 121, and still in control is No Sleep as they edge even closer to that end goal. The 250 mark is what we're looking for here on the King of the Hill match. K-Jules not able to use the bat that time.
Yes, that's tough draw there. Strafe with the SMG was ready to rock and roll. Visions trying to make the play with the rifle, not able to quite get it there as Mason takes him down. And we go over to Strafe, who has that SMG. Run a portal nade down to try and prevent Cornbread from coming up behind him. Goes through with the bat, gets a good smack right on the noggin. No Sleep just needs 14 more points to close out this first map. Revenge Tour, they've been very strong, but I think Endo was, you know, we talk about it, we allude to it. K-Jules coming over to this team has elevated the entire roster as Visions and Woodham both cross that 40 mark with him. And they maintain that control. Just less than 10 seconds to go now. If they can maintain that, they go into map 2 with that 1-0 lead, feeling very strong. It's been a dominant performance from No Sleep. There's been plenty of frags on both sides, but No Sleep have really been on top of that objective. They have hardly given anything up.
I mean, K-Jules hasn't just elevated the team, he's elevated himself as well in this swap. It's something that, you know, I'm probably going to continue to talk about through the rest of the series, because if he goes off like this throughout the rest of it, it's a monster run. This really is, or has been, a highlight reel for K-Jules in this opener. And while he's doing that, just right at the end, pulls off the kill to pull ahead of Visions, who had 45 elims. K-Jules could not let that stand. He had to get one more in. Gets to 46.
Gotta be number one.
Yeah, gotta be number one. After making the swap, I'm going to throw those stats up on board for everybody at home. Take a look at 250 to 155 is the ending score line. No Sleep on top.
45, 45, 46. Just incredible fragging power on this No Sleep roster. K-Jules, when you cause that much mayhem, when you cause that much chaos, and everybody around you, as you know, it gives them a little more room to breathe when K-Jules is popping off, getting 15 kill streaks, going frag-tastic on the enemy. And shout out to Visions, Cornbread making the plays, getting that objective time. Nobody on Revenge Tour was able to get up to that 100 mark. So they had a decent amount of points. It was spread out. We weren't able to see them really lock down any of those hills, and that's what went wrong. So No Sleep, clean 100-point dub in the first map. I think it bodes well for them going on to Atlantis. Although, if there's ever a weird map to talk about in SPS, Atlantis is. I'm not gonna say it necessarily plays faster. Like, you know, we got a different trope here. It's all tight corners and a very difficult bottom.
It's just a lot more close range engagements. You don't quite have the range that you do on some of the other maps. You don't have necessarily the same open sight lines. It's much more lane based, where you've kind of got the 3 lanes in the underground going on. But you know what? Rather than talk about all the possibilities of the map, let's jump in and watch what actually goes down. Let's see what's happening here right off the rip. There's going to be a couple opening elims, a double kill for K-Jules right off the start. Why not? You know, just why not? Keep it going, K-Jules. You had a pop-off game last round. No reason to slow down now.
Takes A, drops right down to B. Portal route ready to go through to C. Checks back over A. He's got eyes. He's checking all the points at the same time. Strafe, however, does come in with a nice quick shutdown on him. But No Sleep starts this round with a triple cap.
Started with a triple cap and 4 down there. So he got K-Jules, but there was a 4 down.
Yeah, that's a very good point as well. That takes away the ability for them to try and decap those points after they get that kill. So they've all got to respawn too. A-Hill back in control of No Sleep. They're like, Revenge Tour, yeah, you got 6 points. Is that okay? You just want 6, right? I'll take the rest of the order over here. Killing spree for Cornbread. He's like, you guys aren't talking about me enough. I've got that plasma rifle. I'm 5-0. Let's get it done.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a reason to talk about him. Make that 6-0, and it's not going to get to 7, though. 6-1, one off of being Braziled there.
Oof. I don't watch soccer, but I know that one.
You understand that one.
That one's that one transcends. Transcends. K Jules got our eyes on him once again. They're up 167-9 and playing up the stairs here. This middle room in Atlantis is just a very terrifying place to hang out. You want to get out of there as quickly as you can. He's going back down towards that B site. There we have him. Picks off strafe, trying to take that hill back. And this bottom part, right? There's only a couple of angles to actually try and make a push onto here. So for Charmander, he's just forced to back up. K Jules going to chase him down.
That's 9 and 3 for K Jules. Working his way through, finds another, has a shot on him, covers the back corner, sees the second one come through, gets out, killing spree, finds another, that's a double, so that makes it 6. Trying to look to see if he can get a few more. Chase down that collection agency if possible. There's another double kill. What is that? He's 2 off of the 10. Finally going to go down 13 and 4. K Jules having a breakout start to the second game as well. 65 points on the board for the objective stat line as well. Just really playing that all-rounder. He's kind of everywhere doing all the jobs at once.
Yeah, look, they're looking fantastic this game. Cornbread, he's been having a fantastic game. There you go. He's got another killing spree going. They're trying to take back that A hill if they can, just for the triple cap now. And they've gotten that back. But look, you're 300 points. The opposing team hasn't even reached triple digits yet. And you've got multiple players with pretty absurd KD ratios in this map so far. And that always kind of gets toned down a little towards the end. You see a couple more deaths come in. Maybe a second win gets hit for Revenge Tour. But this triple cap's been going on for an awful long time, Supersonic.
I mean, we're about to approach 400 points. This is one of those ones where they're looking for a record. It's not a record for a comeback. It's a record for how quickly can we end a domination match off the rip. And they looking like they don't want Revenge Tour to be able to touch that triple-digit scoreline. They're trying to take A right now and get that triple cap back under control for No Sleep. They do just that, and here it goes again. We're going to watch that scoreline start to balloon.
Yeah, over that 430 points to 91. And there's K Jules dropping back down onto B, ready to cover it. He's going to get that frag onto Swooty with that plasma rifle. Still has 25% of the energy left on it. He makes his way back up. Going to try and take that C hill back. And if you have control of B, then the rotation paths to the other ones are not that hard to get. It's just that B hill is a big point of contention.
I mean, Revenge Tour has made it into triple digits, but Revenge Tour is the team that took the win earlier in the season, right? Where it was like 700 to 80 or something like that. I don't think they're used to being on this side of a scoreline like this, on the side of Revenge Tour.
Yeah, that's that K Jules factor. He really comes in. Everybody else is elevated. Cornbread is having a career game right now. He's got 100 objective points. He's got great objective time. 17 and 4. Setting everybody else up. We go over to Visions. Probably I guess the only player that hasn't really popped off yet, but still doing a good job of helping to hold the objective. He's on the hill, setting the team up as best as he possibly can, while everybody else just runs around and, I mean, frankly speaking, just kind of crushes the deathmatch side of this. It's a pop on Charmander. Now Revenge Tour do finally have 2 hills, so they get a little bit of time, but that's a lot to catch up to. No Sleep within 200 points of the dub.
Oh, the triple cap was there momentarily. It does get shut down. No Sleep going to take over that C site. We're on board with Visions, who's still looking to try and have the performance that he did in that last round where he, battled K Jules for top kills while having lowest deaths and then having the highest objective score. It looks like he's having a bit harder time getting this going here in these one-on-one situations that come up more often in the domination game type. Now, when they were all swarming a hill, always there with support, always playing off of each other, Visions excelled really well, but he's having a little bit harder time piecing it together here. Still 16 and 9, they're still dominantly in control, just not quite as pop-off of a performance as the last round.
Yeah, and that's a good point to bring up. They've managed to get back to double cap, however, so No Sleep's going to start to rack those points up. I was going to say, I was talking about how Visions was the only one who hadn't really popped off yet, and then he immediately got that killing spree, so he's 19 and 10 now.
You woke him up.
The caster blessing this time. This time I didn't curse somebody.
So
that
happens
was nice.
About 1 out of every 100 times.
And now I'll go back to cursing everybody else. Look at Woodham over here, 25 and 11. He's crushing it. 100 points, mark crossed. He gets a good headshot on the straight.
Immediately throws a name out there, tries to curse somebody right off the bat. And I might
what are you talking about? I'm just a Woodham fanboy. We've established this.
the 3-cap here at the end. No Sleep looking to close this one out and just get it over and done with. They want to get on to game 3. They want to win that one and move on. Team Plane really kind of peaking at the moment, playing at the top of their game, winning almost every gunfight you could possibly imagine here. And there it is.
That was a dominant performance. Mason finishes 11 and 12 there. Completely shut down, and he's one of the bigger players. He actually did have a lot of the objective time that Revenge Tour was able to get, but when you're top players like that have those high KDs that we're talking about usually being at a 2.0, or when you're finishing at a 0.95, that's where you start to you got the front seat on the struggle bus, and that's not a place anybody wants to be.
That's not the ride you're looking for. On the other side though, no struggles at all. 32 and 11, 21 and 7, 26 and 12, 24 and 10. A dominant performance through that what we like to call an otter map in the series, being Atlantis, just kind of the layout and how that one plays through. Doesn't seem to have any effect on No Sleep whatsoever. Again, another pop-off performance from K-Jules, 140 scoreline, 32 kills, 11 deaths.
Yeah, just look, No Sleep they look really, really good. We are definitely seeing the echoes of the team that took the 3-0 against the undefeated #1 Portal Demons last week, where we were kind of shocked. We're like, okay, you bring a new player onto your roster, even if they're as good as K-Jules, you have to assume that there's some call-outs that maybe he doesn't use that your team uses, or that he uses that your team doesn't.
Some sort of familiarity.
There has to be a little bit of like, okay, things aren't completely smoothed over yet. And they totally threw that narrative in our face, and now they're continuing to look dominant in this match as we go to Team Deathmatch.
Team Deathmatch on Highwind. If there's going to be a spot where K-Jules slips up a little bit, this is the spot. This is the moment to strike. If you are Revenge Tour, this is the one. Can you get it done? Can you stay in this series here? We're going to find out.
And we start on Charmander. Getting the portal grenade out early on, but he has the plasma rifle, 93% power. Can he do anything with it? Unfortunately, no. K-Jules was there to quickly shut him down and take that out of his hands. Mason had the sniper, got one frag on the Visions before K-Jules took him out. And, well, that's what kind of the expectation is, that K-Jules going to be running amok on Highwind. He does get batted down by Strafe. Highwind, very, very fast, right, where we talk about those rotations. You have a lot of good access with portals, but there are enough little corners and turning points here where you do need to be cautious about rounding them, as you never know if somebody's just waiting around the turn with that bat.
Mason and Strafe both having a good start here. Mason 6-1, 7-1. Hey, there's a Brazil scoreline. Didn't get in the last game. We'll get it here, though. Sniper in hand for him as he's looking for another, trying to get that out to 8. Keeping them 1 ahead right now. Really, the performance from Mason has been huge for them thus far. Shots down the long side. Just aiming for the portal, seeing if he can find anybody lurking, hiding behind one of those. Again, everybody just getting away from him, not giving him enough time to take a shot.
Yeah, and this one's been close too, right? 12-14. They recognize, okay, look, we're not playing for the objective. We just need to win our duels. We know that Revenge Tour have a lot of great duelists. Charmander is supposed to be a very strong player. He's starting to warm up a little bit. You're hoping. Mason, 7-2. Strafe, 6-3. Kind of getting it done here, but at this point, it's who's going to start popping up first. Is it going to be Charmander, or is it going to be Cornbread? Because we've got two very powerful players that haven't really crossed into that positive mark just yet in this game, but we know that they can be unbelievably impactful. And on the other side, we've got Swooty and Woodham, both kind of still hovering around that 6'5", 6'6" mark. You want to see one more player from either of these teams, or maybe one on each, step up and turn up the heat a little, as it were.
Yeah, right now, Cornbread, really the guy that I'm looking to for No Sleep. If they want to close this one out, I think that he's going to have to come online at some point in this. He picks up 2 kills as we're talking about it, but he's got to at least break even for this squad. That or K-Jules is going to have to go on a pop-off run once again. We'll see which of these can come through, but we're tied as we approach this halfway mark. Again, shooting for 50 points to win. Now in the lead by 1 is No Sleep. Make that 2 as he takes down Strafe.
Yep. And that, very importantly, too, saw Strafe was kind of chilling there waiting with the bat. So with that taken out of his hands, that's also very nice. I think Visions is the one holding on to it as we continue to follow K-Jules. He's got that sniper and the SMG. Deadly combination, to say the least. And coming up on top Cornbread has that bat now as well. Let's see what he can get done with it.
Yeah, finally coming online. Into the positive side is Cornbread now. Only 2 on the objective point, but been a part of 8 of those elims. That's what we want to see. You don't got to be the guy making the finish, but we need to see you at least positive in the KDA, making sure that you're involved in those fights, not getting stuck in those isolated fights where you're having to do the 1v1. Take that team fight. Get that advantage. Strafe going to get taken out here. And now Visions up against Masons. He's going to take the L on that exchange.
So no sleep. We've got a little bit of a buffer, 35 to 28, but nothing insurmountable as we go back over to K-Jules. He's going to get taken down by Strafe. And making plays like that is definitely the way to do it. Tries to bring the bat to Charmander, but Cornbread instead gets shut down. So now just a 4-point gap as we go over to Visions holding that battle rifle.
We can see if he can line somebody up. Someone's got to be in his way. That's going to be Mason will be the first one to catch a couple shots from him. Portaling through, seeing if he can get a shot. There was somebody in that portal on the far side, but a player firing through is going to back him up. Here comes the bat. A little bit of dodge, a little bit of bob and weave. Charmander can't get away from the BR, though. He's going to get taken out, and now in the hands of Visions is that bat. Looking to see if he can find his way through. Will not. Going to get flanked out from that left side.
Yeah, Strafe really trying to put the team on his back right now as he's had a couple of key shutdown frags so far. Swooty gets another big one onto Visions, but coming around the side is K-Jules, and he's only able to trade 1 for 1. At this point, however, those small trades can still be worth it. 36 to 41, but the goal is 50, so a 5-point buffer is still plenty of room. We go over to Cornbread with that sniper. He's going to get strafed, coming around with Woodham against Mason. They take him down, and No Sleep starting to break away just a little bit over here. Still has that sniper rifle. Another devastating shot or 2 could be enough. Turn around. Well, he only has 1 shot, so it better be 1 devastating shot, or he can get the punch. That's fine as well.
I mean, the shot was almost devastating, but that pair with the 1-2 is going to get it done.
Give him a little 2-piece action.
4 more to go here on the side of No Sleep. 12 needed on the side of Revenge Tour. This one looking like it may end as a 3-0. No Sleep looking top form. Just as strong as they were last week as they took down and gave Portal Demons their first loss. They're looking to hand Revenge Tours their second. 1 kill away from the 3-0 sweep. Who's going to be the unlucky victim? And that one is going to be...
Strafe.
Didn't catch it. Was it Strafe? Yeah. Strafe gets taken down right at the end. And that is a 3-0 strong victory for the side of No Sleep. K-Jules once again making huge impact on that roster.
Yeah, just we talked about it in this match specifically. We were saying, okay, look, we need Cornbread or Swooty to come up and make the big play. Swooty ends up 12 and 15, so has a bit of a tough round. That ends up being the difference here. As Cornbread, he had a bit of a rough start too, but finished 16 and 8. Yeah, just 8 score points, but by not giving up as many frags, by being there to get that kill participation with everybody else and helping to elevate K-Jules, Vision, and Woodham, that's that teamwork. That's that team play that we talk about being so crucial here. Everybody contributes in a meaningful way, and together, that gives that 10-point difference for No Sleep to win.
Yeah, and here in the Splitgate Pro Series, a 10-point win on a TDM, that's a pretty
big deal.
That's a pretty healthy win, right? That's not something we don't see that get into double-digit wins that often in TDM. So strong performance again. Visions and K-Jules both stepping up. Woodham, Cornbread really on the side for Cornbread, though we're talking about him needing to get a little bit more involved. Ended up turning it on, made a huge difference. That's why they were able to get to that 10. But also, he did a great job of just not getting elim. So even from the bottom of the board, he's making sure that he's not giving up his points. Again, single digit, only 8 deaths. Great job out of Cornbread on the side of No Sleep.
Yeah, so an excellent victory there, and that's a really big one for No Sleep. We were talking about it with Endo before, and I'm sure he's going to have plenty to say about it here, but they are definitely one of the teams to watch going into the playoffs now. Endo, we absolutely cannot, well, no pun intended here, but we can't sleep on No Sleep.
Absolutely not, and that's why they've vindicated my guess. I was pretty confident about No Sleep in this one. No disrespect to Revenge Tour, of course. Last week I called them my dark horse. Now maybe I was a little bit premature on who I would call a dark horse, but yeah, No Sleep. They are emerging as a last minute contender, 100%, and it has to do with K-Jules. And Also, I'll note that Strafe wasn't an addition for Revenge Tour. Strafe was one of the most consistent players for Revenge Tour in that last match. Something worth mentioning. But yeah, look at that. With a 64% game win percentage, no sleep over Revenge Tour in the standings.
Taking over that third spot, that's actually a huge little jump there for No Sleep. Yeah, not necessarily a dark horse at this point. What's the opposite of a dark horse? Do we call it a light horse? I don't know what the correct terminology is. Somebody will have to get me
Favorite.
That. But
they're a contender now.
yeah, they're. I mean, beyond contender. This is a team. You look at them. If let's say this team, K-Jewel started there, and the team was performing like this the whole season, we'd be sitting here talking about who's going to catch No Sleep, right? They've just taken down Portal Demons into Revenge Tour. They've taken down 2 of the top 3. I think WGL had already played, so No Sleep. No Sleep does not play WGL.
Yeah,
No
Sleep is playing Bork tomorrow. That will be their
so
final
they've already played WGL. So top tier performance out of them. They're setting themselves up to really make that run and be a favorite going into this.
Yeah, I think based on the standings, they need a kind of unlikely drop off from either Portal Demons or WGL tomorrow. Because I know Portal Demons, we talked about how their matchup against Little Gremlins will probably be tough. But I guess if Revenge Tour were to stomp WGL, then that top 2 seed discussion we were having, Endo, kind of opens up, doesn't it?
It does. It's just the only problem is they don't control their own destiny. I think they're a shoo-in for at least third seed, which is great. That puts you in the top 50% of the bracket. But yeah, like they're gonna have to depend on another team to drop out one of the top 2 if they want to buy. But you know, if I'm No Sleep though, I'm not even worried about that. I feel so confident right now. If I'm No Sleep, that was such a dominating performance against a 4-1 team.
Do you even? This is my thing. If we look at it from the bracket standpoint, right? They secure. Do you want the bye, or do you want to come in hot off of a win, playing through the bracket? There's teams that do play when they're warmed up, but it doesn't seem like No Sleep took any time to warm up. So maybe they're a team that would perform better with the bye. I think you always want the bye, but there's storyline-wise, there's definitely teams where they get that momentum going and they become unstoppable.
I see what you're saying, but I feel like you're gonna. I don't know, Endo. Are you with me on this? But I'm like, I feel like you. Of course, you want the bye if you can get it. Of course, you want the bye if you can get it, but I see where you're coming from.
I don't know if I'm WGL. I'm a late game team. I'm a team that builds up momentum as time goes on. WGL may want to be that 3rd seed and not have that.
Yeah, you always pick the bye. I mean, it's the equivalent of an automatic win, right? Regardless of what you think your team is or isn't, you take that bye and then you just run with it. But yeah, like it's a good point though. WGL, Sleeping Giants, once they wake up, they're pretty much unstoppable. But they got to get to that point.
That's an interesting thing to consider, whether or not starting cold could be a problem for them off that bye. We'll just have to find out. We do have another match for all of you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be bringing that after the break. You're watching the Splitgate Pro Series.
Nice play. Woo!
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the Splitgate Pro Series. I'm Nathanius, joined by Supersonic. We just got to see No Sleep do what they apparently do best now with K-Jules on their team, which is demolish people 3-0, 2 weeks in a row.
And not just like anybody, but like top of the competition. They went through Portal Demons and they just went through Revenge Tour. Both were teams that were tied 4-1 to start the day. Nuts. It's not them coming in and just being like, oh, we 3-0 people. We 3-0 the absolute top of the competition, which is for anybody sitting at the top that have already experienced them, you should be terrified once we get to bracket play.
Indeed. Definitely worth pointing out, of course, Portal Demons, they're going to be playing in our final match of the night tonight, but their one loss handed to them in a 3-0 fashion last week by No Sleep, which that was like the beginning. Like, okay, how much impact will the roster changes have? Will it be in time? Will people be able to gel? And we were immediately shown, yes, they can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for Portal Demons, this match is really important. They want to win this one 3-0. They want to maintain that number 1 seed. They're up against Bork, who have they've been a pretty competitive team. They haven't really blown up in that same way as some of these other squads that picked up a lot after the swaps, but they brought in Suppress. We've got Bitey, Ritz, and Toby Repellent going up against JP, App, Jalen Mans, and Hypnos. Definitely a series that Portal Demons want to win dominantly.
It's one of those ones where, Portal Demons, after taking the loss last week, they were on a run where it was looking like they weren't going to get beat by anybody. And taking that loss last week again against the team that we just watched with K-Jules on No Sleep, take them out. It's one of those ones where I'm expecting them to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, a little bit of anger, and I'm expecting them to try and take that out on Bork.
For sure. We're going to be bringing back our expert Endo from 1047 Games, and we've talked a lot about Portal Demons, and particularly Jalen Mans over the course of this season. Endo, I feel like he's got to be that guy that kind of rallies everybody together after that loss last week, says, okay, look, they got K-Jules, they're strong, but we're still the top team, we're still the team to beat. So I feel like that confidence shouldn't be wavering too much for them.
Yeah, they get to prove themselves once again, right? That they are a professional team, that they belong. No one's doubting that they're one of the top teams, of course, but when you get a shock to the system like that, getting 3-0'd by a team that everyone said they were expecting to win, that forces you to readjust your view on things. And I have all the confidence in the world that Jalen and company, they'll be able to adjust on to today's match.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch them, and what does this team look like after a loss, and not just any loss, but a loss in an epic fashion, right? You lose 3-0. That's one of those ones to bounce back, and how do you handle that? We haven't seen Portal Demons have to react to something like that and adjust. Some teams will adjust really well. Other teams I've seen across multiple esports where they don't take that. It can turn into other problems that arise for the team. So we're going to get to have a look and see just what kind of mental fortitude this Portal Demons squad has as they go up against Bitey and all the guys over on Bork, and see how they step up here. We will be looking at 5 maps as always if we make it all the way there. Foregone, we'll be kicking it off, then we'll be on to Helix, into Oasis, onto Abyss, and into Olympus if we make it all the way to 5. It's going to be an interesting one. It's a bit of an uphill battle for Bork, but it's definitely a team that has pop-off potential. We've seen them have some really big moments, and they're going to need a few of those to get through this Portal Demon squad.
Yeah, I feel like one of the, perhaps maybe an interesting thing to consider here too is, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Endo, but kind of hitting that adversity point before the playoffs, right? Getting that, I think the way that you said it was elegant. I'd probably say like a gut check, right? It's like, okay, well, we're not untouchable. We're not we're not gods over here, right? They were undefeated coming into last week. They kind of get that reminder that, hey, what you're doing works, but there are people who can still beat you. So maybe we see them turn it on even more this match as a result.
Part of being a professional team is not just knowing how to win. Obviously, winning is the most important thing, but knowing how to lose to the long game throughout the course of a season. You're not going to win every single map at the very least. Knowing how to win and knowing how to lose, those are two very key things that professional esports teams just need to know how to do. And they got a crash course on that last week.
Yeah, so hopefully they're able to make the adjustments. We'll see a clean game out of them. I heard the match is ready. Thank you, Endo. We'll check in with you after this series is over. But I couldn't agree more. You know, when you take an L, everybody can go back. You can say, hey, look, what went wrong? Where in the VODs, where did we see that we had clearly made a mistake? Where can we fix this? And then there's the other side where people start playing the blame game. You point fingers and you say, look, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. We lost. We have to come together and find a solution. That's the most important thing. Don't spiral on a loss.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I was kind of alluding to, right? Is what is the mental fortitude of this team? What does it look like after a loss? Are they dominant? Do they bounce right back? Do they stay? Does it carry over at all into once we get to bracket play? We're kind of towards the end of the season. I mean, had it maybe been another week, one extra week, you have a little bit more adjustment time to figure things out. But what does that look like? Because that also can set up, are you a team going into the next season that is just still as good as they were the previous season? That kind of has a long-term effect if they can bounce back. And I'm glad that we're getting to see whether or not, or get to see which version of the team they are.
Yeah. It's definitely better for Portal Demons to face their first loss during the regular season than in the playoffs.
Yeah,
not a whole lot of roads back if you end up losing the finals or in the semis. So, with that being said, we are on Foregone Destruction here, King of the Hill. I feel like we haven't had too much King of the Hill on this map. We've gotten to see the new Foregone a couple of times. I feel like it was a little more domination focused. I might be wrong on that, but these games usually end up being really good.
We definitely don't typically get Foregone to start a series.
Yeah.
Like, Foregone is Foregone. The Foregone conclusion is that typically it's going to be the final map or back two that we play. It's not usually in the front three choices. This time, though, we're just going to kick it right off the rip here with it. And right now, as we're talking, Bork been able to find a little bit of footing and get control over this hill. They've now taken a lead off of Portal Demons. Really, the points coming off of a full team effort. Ritz being the one to make sure that he's always on there, and Vidi with the help. Great exit through that portal, and then a twist there to get that shot. SMG kill onto Hypnos. That's actually a big elim, too. Hypnos being that player that I think we've highlighted him twice already, stats-wise this season, is a player that's just a monster for Portal Demons. One of the top performers in the league overall. If you're going to take somebody off, might as well be him. He's a good first option.
Yeah, and the general implications of this match also for Bork are kind of interesting to consider because they're not really, their record, if they lose this match, it's not the best, but the way that things have shaken up, they still have that opportunity in the bracket. And the reality is that if they want to do well in the bracket, they have to be able to beat Portal Demons. So a win here would be amazing for them. That would be it would kind of shake up everything that we think about this league heading into the playoffs. But even if they can't get that dub, they need to be at the very least trying anything that they've wanted to try to make work, to see if it can work against these guys, because finding a way to take down these top teams, that's what it's all going to be about next week. They've got a couple of matches to try and calibrate, get themselves to have a strong finish and look good going into that bracket. But for Portal Demons, they don't want to drop a single map because that seeding is still at stake.
Yeah, every single map matters for them, where just trying to win the series overall is the focus of Bork. Portal Demons has to stay locked in 100% of the time all the way through this. They do not want to give up anything. They want to make sure that they put themselves in the best possible position, that no matter what happens tomorrow, that they can lock themselves into a top 2 position.
Yeah, get that bye. Give yourself a little more time. Get ready. Get to see some of the competition play those matches before they go up against you, or as I think you dropped the knowledge bomb on me, to have your guy that watches the other matches watch those and give you those tips while you're preparing to play against them.
A lot of ways to figure it out and get that info. Going to shut down that portal, but Jalen's going to catch him from the left side. That'll be an elim onto Ritz. On board with Suppress for the moment. Currently 12-6. Respectable numbers. Keeping this one real close. Bork really making Portal Demons fight for this one. Currently 3 down was Portal Demons.
Hill control.
Hill switches, Hill switches and they get control over it. Intense back and forth. That kind of awkward moment, that silence for a brief second where the Hill's changing points, couple people down, not a lot of bodies running around, not a lot of shots going off, an eerie momentary silence that you don't hear too often on a split gate map.
No, not at all. As we were looking at Ritz over there. Ritz, another one of those players that has been a great frag player throughout the series that we've been able to see all year long, but there's suppressed a little knockout punch for App. And Jalen Mans, he's been the guy that we've been talking about, right? He's somebody that we've gotten to speak with him. They're talking about how seriously they take their preparation, how much they want this, that hunger that they have. When you come into this place, you're 4-1. That's $4,000 on match wins that you picked up alone, right? They've been crushing it. They've been building up that momentum, but they do need to have that strong finish here. Bork is bringing it to them. We're looking through the eyes of Suppress, trying to get some long downrange shots there with that BR. Takes out Jalen Mans before getting punched out by JP.
2 down for the side of Bork, but in the lead still, up by just over 20, but that's going to come down to a lower number as Portal Demons have control of this hill. Bork going to try and make a close-range push. In comes the shot. They come from both sides. They do get the win. Take down Suppress. Suppress takes them down and is able to take control of the hill.
App with a triple. Woo! Okay, well, Portal Demons wants to get that lead back. App making plays like that. That's how it's going to happen. I was going to say App was the player on the team that kind of started off the slowest, but usually, they find that moment, they get that opportunity, that shotgun SMG combo sets him up to make a big play for his team, and while he does end up getting cleared there, Bork, on the other side of things, push in, but you have just that concentrate happening. Hypnos keeping Ritz off the objective.
A poor moment for App, too. You're sitting there and you're trying to get to somewhere safe, you're getting shot, you back up to the wall, you turn around, you face a large wall, and all three portals open up on the wall, and they're the other team's color.
So where do I go?
It's well, I've lost this engagement. I'm just going to go ahead.
behind portal number 1, a shotgun. Portal number 2, another shotgun.
Portal number 3, an SMG. Wait a second, the shotgun? Where did they get 3 shotguns
How is
from?
this possible? Yeah.
Portal Demons back in the lead, though. After that big pickup by App, that triple kill really kind of swung things in their favor. Bork had just had made a great play in, but the player had gotten that went down had gotten a ton of shots into them and allowed App to come in and get that finish. Really open up that hill, open up the score line, and now Portal Demons have been in control ever since. Now opening this up, they're now up by just over 30 or right at 30 points.
And we got our eyes on Hypnos again, who's definitely been popping off. Oh, nice little headshot there with the sniper on a Toby repellent. Good clear. Coming out is Bitey, able to track him with the assault rifle. Meanwhile, App took out Suppress on the other side, giving them quite a bit of room to breathe. They can get on top of that hill, continue to rack those points up. The goal is 250 in this mode, so they're cruising. They're on their way over there, not too far away from being one hill time off of the map win.
Oh, through that portal was certain death. Ritz gonna pick up that kill before he gets eliminated. Looking for control of the hill is Bork. Currently in control is Portal Demons. They try to set up a hold here. You can see Toby Repellent trying to get some shots from the other side. Bitey tries to make the pinch. Collection Agency comes through for App, popping off, double kill. Looking for a third. Nobody gonna come in. App just going to hold it down. I mean, looking at the objective point, I can definitely say App is not going to go chase down the triple kill. He will allow a triple kill to come to him, but he is not leaving the point for any reason. You want to know who reloads their gun on the point? App. App's the kind of guy that reloads his gun on the point.
App's like, look guys, I'm gonna pop off. I'm gonna do all the good things that you want me to do, and I'll make you one promise. I will die on the hill 100% of the time that I am able to do so. I will make that happen. I will get us every possible second. And Portal Demons, they are rewarded in this movement. 216 to 121. Bork definitely brought it to him a little bit at the start, but Portal Demons doing their best WGL impression. Taking it a little slow burn just in the first half, and then just taking off. Hypnos does get cleared there. We see JP picked by Bitey. Bitey having a little pop-off moment himself before getting shut down by, you guessed it, App.
Of course. Why would it be anyone else? App's the one currently for this team, 36 and 17. We're going to be on board with Jalen Bands, though, 29 and 18 currently. He's looking for a finish on Bitey as he comes through that portal. Is able to get it, trying to look for the turn on Suppress. Can't get it, softens him up, though. Can anybody else finish? No! Suppress gets the double as he picks up the Elim onto JP. 3 down for a quick moment there on the side of Portal Demons. Bork looking to try and make a heroic effort, Herculean even, to try and make this comeback here. 22 points needed from Portal Demons. 40 seconds left on this hill, so they're going to have to fight them here. They can't do one of these ones where they just set up, wait for the next hill. They need to come in, take it over. They get 3, 4 down, 2 up on the side of Portal Demons. Will they pick up the hill? They do. Down to 10 points left needed to close this one out. This might be the end.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was a really good play by Ritz. Opened the portal, got the double kill, but he stepped through. And then that portal got closed behind him by JP, and then he got picked. JP says, oh, you're gonna leave the hill to go help your team out? Well, don't mind if I walk in and secure map number 1. So Portal Demons, they come in strong. It was a little bit of a slower start there. We definitely saw Bork bring it to them in the beginning. It was pretty much tied all the way up to 100 points. And then, well, App, right? What more can we say?
App.
App.
App happened.
He's got the most kills. He's got the most points for objective.
Almost the fewest number of deaths. I mean, yeah, he kind of had that turning point mid-game. He had that one where he kind of got the triple. They took the point over. He eventually paid dearly with his life for that play, but that play opened it up. It really allowed the team to come in, full setup on a new hill, get a ton of points there, get a great hold, and then they continued to turn that into good pushes around. As the hill would switch and they would get on it on the other side, Bork would set up. They'd full man push into it, 4-man take it back over. So they weren't allowing a lot of time out of Bork at the end. They had a great job of swapping from hill to hill to hill.
Yeah, just absolutely fantastic job done so far. I believe we've got a little something for y'all here as we're making our way through this series. If you'd like a chance to win some nice swag, type !Astro into the chat to enter. Big thank you to our sponsor for the Splitgate Pro Series, Astro. Couldn't do it without y'all. And if you want some sweet swag, a new headset, mix amp, !Astro in the chat. It doesn't get too much easier than just typing something in chat, Supersonic, I have to admit.
It's pretty straightforward, yeah.
Yeah. I can't telepathically enter giveaways, so I think we'll take that as we load up into Domination.
Well, into game number 2. There's an Elim. Didn't quite get to see who they took a shot at. Camera angle, but a couple trades here back and forth. Both teams getting on the board on the Elim side of things, really needing to get control over a hill. First one to strike is going to be Bork as they take over that A hill, immediately lose it. C hill goes to Portal Demons. They pick up A and C, and they are straight back into the lead. This is one of those ones where Bork is going to have to try and be present the entire way through. This is one of those ones that this game mode can just become so snowbally if things go wrong, as they are so far. A, B, C, all of them going to PD.
That triple cap for Portal Demons at the start. Well, where have we seen this before today? Coming down onto that objective is Jalen Mans with the plasma rifle, and he is making it rain upon the enemy as they get the point secured before he gets picked off by Ritz. So a couple more seconds of that triple cap, but Ritz actually did get counterfragged by JP while that was happening. So even though he took him out, just because he died on the hill and got control of it, there was never anybody to actually step on it and take control away from Portal Demons, and that is how they are able to maintain such a lead in this manner. And I won't lie, I love our games on Helix. I feel like this has given us some of the best Split K Pro Series games. Super dynamic, decent lines of sight, some inside areas that get a little bit crazy, but a good variety in power weapons as well. That kind of keeps this one always fresh for me. I love these games that we get into on here, but I have to say I wasn't expecting Portal Demons to start 210-5.
You know, if I was going to see that, I was expecting it in Game 1. I was like, we might just see a Portal Demons that's got the chip on their shoulder. They're angry about last week. They didn't like taking the loss. They look like they're more upset at the fact that they didn't win by a higher point value in the last round. They seem more upset with their win than they did from the loss from last week.
That's one way to put it.
You know, currently 267-7 right now. Really just trying to 3-cap their way all the way through this. That only got the 2-cap right now, maybe making them angrier at the moment. But, man, Portal Demons have been dominant. As dominant as you could possibly be through the opening of this game, too.
Yeah, when you talk about that spread, spread of the hills on domination,
Brutal.
Everybody, the individual pressure goes up. And when that happens, Portal Demons, they just have all the tools at play. We see Hypnos, he's 13-4. He's cruising for a bruising. Jalen Mans, he's 15-5. These are all guys that they get into those 1v2, 1v3 situations. It's like you're watching an action movie. Come at me. Bring them all. We can take them. And that's exactly why Portal Demons is off to such a strong start here on Helix.
Yeah, they're routing just so good all the way through. It's their reaction time, right? It's somebody calls, hey, this is the hill that's getting hit. How quickly can you get there to stop that and slow that down? They've been reacting so quickly. Everyone reacting to the call, and that's kind of what you've got to do. It's how we watched that upset heroic win on a domination happen. If anybody didn't get to see that, the video exists out there somewhere on Twitter. I got to see it in the in-game comms from that game. That'll give you a bit of an idea of just how fast-paced this is and what these guys are reacting to and how quickly they have to go. Doing this, what Portal Demons is doing, I imagine their comms to be probably not as high-strung because they're not having to do a comeback at the moment, but how quickly everybody is to react to each other's calls, probably very similar.
The flow that they're in seems to be very smooth. Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from with that, and it's got to be just like, all right, I got another one. Yep, got one. I don't know, maybe they're starting to keep score against each other. You're like, okay, well, you know, I've got 20. Hypnos, you got 20 yet? He's like, hang on, give me a second over here. I got the SMG. Oh, he's like, oh, Toby got him. Toby got him. Come on, Hypnos. Got to catch up to Jalen Mans over here. And if that's what you're thinking about, then you're probably in a good place. 550 points to 77. Now there is a 2-cap for Bork, but if we're talking about comebacks, this would have to be the craziest one that we have seen in SPS because they have got a long way to go.
I've seen crazy things. I'm not counting them out.
That's true. I don't disagree with you, but Portal Demons, there's too much on the line here for them to take the foot off the gas.
I can hear it in your voice. You're like, I don't disagree with you, but I disagree with you.
I'm going to play diplomacy with you, but I'm still. Portal Demons they're pretty good. They've definitely, as you and Endo both said, they kind of got that chip on their shoulder. They do not want to just win. They want to win big. They don't want to give up those maps, and they are in control of their own destiny. If Portal Demons wins out in their 3-0, they get that #1 seed. They get that bye. They are getting ready for that grand final potentially.
Yeah, they want that percentage. They want the advantage. They want to sit back at the top. They want that #1 seed overall. They feel they deserve it. They've had the season to definitely say so, other than the one loss to the new super team of no sleep.
Yeah.
That's what the NS actually stands for. It stands for new super team. Super team is one word also for this analogy. Yeah, that's what we're going to call it. But dominant performance. This one's going to close out with the 3-cap at the end. Portal Demons.
Wow.
Monstrous game 2 as they come through and they completely lock down Helix. At one point it felt like they weren't going to get past 5 points.
I got to say, after last week, I felt like Portal Demons had to come out and look strong. But this is almost to a degree I was not expecting. I mean, that's a huge win in this second map. They kind of turned it on halfway through the first map, but in map number 2, we're seeing that they are warmed up. They are absolutely on fire. Nobody died more than 10 times on the team, and several of them not even that much. Everything that could have gone right went right for them. I feel like there's hardly anything to really go at. They executed unbelievably well. And I wonder now, the great equalizer coming up, Team Deathmatch. Do we get our most dominant Team Deathmatch win then here for Portal Demons? Are they going to be going ham, or do we see a little bit of strike back action?
I don't know what to tell you on that one. It's TDM and it's Splitgate Pro Series. So
I love giving you the impossible questions. I'm a really good friend like that.
The Splitgate Pro Series is definitely, in TDM, is probably the least predictable thing that you could go into. But the opening for this one, you know what's predictable? PD opening up in the lead. That's probably something predictable.
That's fair. That's fair. Hypnos with three frags started off for his squad. Not too shabby at all. Holding onto that railgun too, as we see Jalen Mans looking for his first blood in this match. Well, this map.
And feel how itchy that trigger finger is, trying to charge that up. He's going to have to get out of there, able to close that portal, and he throws one down behind him just in case anybody else came through. The pre-fire, the killing spree happens, but Ritz also going to take him out. So 5 and 1 is Hypnos.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just Team Deathmatch, but on Oasis as well. We're seeing with that railgun, he's looking for a big shot, but lines of sight on this map are crazy open. If you're not hiding in the underground playing with that shotty or something like that, then you get into some very awkward situations in terms of just you can't really run around outside too much. People are going to find you. People will get on you. There's the kaleidoscope from Hypnos just saying, feed me. Let me close this one out for the team. 9 and 1, 9 and 2 now anyway. Still, yeah. Well, Hypnos is pretty good, huh?
He's all right. He does all right. He's not too shabby. Shotgun from Jalen's gonna find an Elim. Looking for another. Can't find anybody. Was trying to just pre-fire some of those portals. Finally has an angle down, but somebody else sees that portal open right up. That's Suppress, and he's gonna go ahead and rip Jalen Mans right off the map.
And you see a lot of portal denial happening here. They've been really on top of trying to deny those movement opportunities, since it is so critical, specifically on Oasis, to not expose yourself too much to those long lines of sight. And coming around now, holding on to that SMG is Ritz. Gets that killing spree set up, and he made a couple good plays earlier. He was able to get that first shotgun, I believe, out of the hands of Hypnos off of that shutdown when he got that first killing spree. Ritz, someone that we've definitely had our eyes on, playing pretty well for Bork all throughout even the launch season of Splitgate Pro Series.
For a battle close range fight there, that's going to be JP who wins the better end of that engagement. JP currently 11 and 6, so almost leading the way, just behind Hypnos. Really though, gonna have to be able to find a way to close out some of these kills if Portal Demons don't want to let Bork really back into this. We're tied here, and it's really coming down to the fact that Hypnos is the only one finishing off any of these kills.
Yeah, hey, if you can be that guy for your team, be that guy. But this is kind of what I was worried about going into this one. At least the Team Deathmatch just always ends up being this very difficult power struggle, because no matter how good you are, when you have people that can move around this fast, like Endo was saying, they're all professional Splitgate players at this point. You're playing at the highest level of competition for the game, even as early in the competitive scene as it may be. So these guys are not going to leave anything on the table if you're willing to give it to them.
I feel like communication also within the world of arena shooters becomes a bit easier in an objective play, right? When we're on a domination, you're calling for people to rotate around. The way they were doing everything so effectively in the last game is you're calling 2 on A, 3 on B, 1 on C, whatever, right? Here it's a lot more free form, free flow, so you've got to be a little bit more specific. Those comms become a little bit more complex in the way that you're trying to let people know where the other team is, where the opponent is. So TDM really does just kind of change the flow of everything up.
Out there with that railgun is JP getting a couple of good shots off with that, tying things up. 36-35 now for Portal Demons. Can they get that breakaway? They really want to win this one 3-0. It will help with the seeding. Even a map given up here could end up closing that gap between them and WGL.
Tie, just back and forth, each team taking a lead by 1, and then the tie comes through again. Looking for a chase there was Ritz, as he cannot find anybody. JP will eventually find him. The lead gained once again by Bork, 40-39. We're in the final 10, tied once again. Of course we are. Hey, No, my answer to the question before, not a blowout. Yeah,
No.
not going to be a blowout. I have the answer for you.
As I say, it's usually, I think we've had more games finish within that 5-point margin than we have any sort of stomp, no matter what the total skill difference is across teams. It's always a bit of a nail-biter here in the TDM. Who's going to hit 50 first? Hypnos currently out. There's the respawn for him. Can he come in and be that wind beneath the wings for the team? Or perhaps App will be able to break out into that positive. We'll just have to see. It's been a concerted team effort from Bork across the board, but there's Jalen Mans with a good snipe onto Ritz. He gets another one onto Bitey before Suppress pops him with that shotgun. Having that shotgun in the final possible moments of this game could be huge.
I mean, Hypnos has currently been involved in 60% of the elims, and then of those elims, he is 60% of the elims confirmed.
49-48.
This is so close.
One more for Portal Demons. One more to protect that seeding. That's ever so important placing. And there it is. Jalen Mans takes out Bitey with the carbine to secure the 3-0. And, you know, it's like in the beginning of the season, we're like, okay, we want to see good, close, competitive matches. Let's not talk about 3-0s too much.
Yeah.
But at the end of the season, it is so important to not give that map up. They maintained their map win rate. This was huge for Portal Demons as they, you know, their matchup tomorrow, I think is going to be it's going to be pretty manageable for them. So this was absolutely massive. A 2-point difference to make sure that seeding is safe. Shout out to Bitey, putting in some work, keeping the team in it, and a great spread across the board from everybody. Hypnos, though, hard to say he didn't put the team on his back.
I mean, Hypnos is the reason that they won that match, or won that map, and we didn't end up in a 3-1. The reason that their percentage is protected is Hypnos. They better thank him, praise him. He's the man for that TDM. I mean,
someone spot his food delivery tonight. Get his back, okay?
Get him dinner. Somebody get him something nice. He earned it. Hypnos, absolute monster. There's a reason why we have highlighted him the number of times
Several
we
times.
have. Yeah, there's a reason why we talk about him. He is a monster on that team, and he definitely threw everybody on his back and made sure that they got that win.
Yeah, really, really well done. And you know, we talk about these score lines. Well, Portal Demons, they're 5-1 now, going into the final day of games tomorrow. That'll end the regular season. Endo, give us your thoughts on that one, man. It seemed like we might have had some blood drawn from Portal Demons in that TDM, but they managed to clutch it out at the final moments.
Yeah, you said it yourself. Hypnos, he was the reason why they were able to win that game. I think he went +10 on his kill death ratio. That was quite the performance by him. I've noticed that Hypnos was +18. Okay, excuse me.
+18.
That's incredible.
You put some respect on his name, sir. You give him the credit for all 18.
And he's earned it, right? He's been building himself up as one of the premier players, and he's got a team to back him up. So Portal Demons still at the very minimum a top 2 team at this point, and yeah, with that, it's just all they have is WGL in the standings to worry about. Of course, they're gonna have to be concerned with no sleep, in my opinion, when the bracket happens. But yeah. This is 79%. Ooh, so it's a good thing they didn't drop that last game, because they would be number 2 right now.
Man, so close, these percentages. Again, we go and look at 3rd and 4th, separated by 4%. I mean, this is one of those ones where, yeah, we may be top heavy, but the actual distance between 1st to 2nd, 2nd to 3rd, 3rd to 4th, they're not massive gaps. These are small ones. These are ones that can be made up, and we're only in season 2, right? We already saw the improvement season 1 to season 2. This we're getting towards the end of the season. It's just getting me more and more excited for the future seasons. What happens when we give these guys a little bit of time off? Do we come back and everybody's a monster? Do we come back and everybody in the field's Hypnos now?
I have no idea. I have no idea who's going to win this winter season, and that excites me more than anything else, because we knew WGL was the team to beat coming into this after the performance in the launch season. Aim Assist kind of surprised us, but they didn't really have that record of, okay, we're always on top. So we had some question marks on them this season. Things kind of turned out a little bit tough for them, but the fact that Portal Demons were able to step it up to this degree and take it to them, they beat them, right? They handed them that first L that they WGL had, and now on top of that, we have to take no sleep into consideration. Like, This is going to end up being such a wild, exciting playoff bracket. I don't know. Am I crazy? Am I going off the rails here, Endo?
No, and their roster, we are at the point now where we know the identity of these teams like pretty firmly. We could probably make a relatively educated guess on how the end seeding is going to play out. We'll talk about it tomorrow, I'm sure. But like, man, like Portal Demons, they have Jalen Mans, they have Hypnos, App, right? Like I might date myself here, but whenever you got a problem with an objective, there's an app for that. He's gonna fix your problems and help you secure the win. So Portal Demon's very, very dangerous.
Yeah. Even in that TDM, he didn't quite pop off, but in the 2 objective games prior, App just took over.
App was a monster. I've got his stats actually written down. He was in that domination, he was 90, 20, and 9. So 90 objective points and then 20 and 9 on the kill death. Like, major reason why that went the way that it did. He was one of the first ones on scene. If they called that a point was there, he routed perfectly with speed, was on point, and able to maintain that 3 cap for them. So, and that's why I was kind of talking about it a little bit in the terms of the communication. You can see that it's not as clean in TDM. It's just not, especially on a map as open, and how somebody can literally, that you call player on the left side, and on Oasis, that person is gone and all the way to the right side because you can see the entirety of the map and every board on the map. But you can see how clean it is in objective play for Portal Demons. There is an opening, though, to take them down in TDMs.
Yeah, and all of those weaknesses, all of those little intricate details, we've got one more day of regular games to kind of figure out where all the seeding is going to end up. We have a pretty good idea of who's in the playoff bracket and who's not now, but we gotta sort out all the seeding and whatnot. But man, just absolutely wild day of games. Get to see some good, interesting results. I do believe we've got a little more action for all of you guys tuning in, and we really appreciate you watching, hanging out with us. We hope you enjoy the show. If you'd like to win some swag, you can enter at splitgateproseries.com/rewards. We'll be giving away an Astro prize pack. Of course, big thanks to Astro powering the Splitgate Pro Series. And there is also something else kind of cool that we wanted to talk about. Not kind of cool, really cool. If you're somebody that says, look, I can't go win all the big games, but sometimes I make a really cool play. This one's for you. We got the Trick Shot Challenge. Tweet at Splitgate with your best trick shot clips. You can edit out the part where you got killed 5 times in a row before or after. Just give us that beautiful shot, the one with the most retweets. Basically, look, you make a cool play, get everybody's love on you. Personalized in-game name tag and an Astro headset. Now, look, in-game swag like that where I can flex on people, I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty jealous of whoever wins that alone.
Like, it's awesome. Like, Astro, thank you so much. They're for all the giveaways, everything, right? You come through, you win something physical. That's awesome. Headset one. That if you don't have a headset as good as the Astro headset, it's gonna up your game there. But there's something about just being able to. The other guy can't see your headset. There's something about a name tag that's just a little bit of extra flex when you're in the lobby. Oh, look at that. There we go. The headset on. Yeah, great. That name tag flex, though. I mean,
that's pretty cool.
And I'll just thank Endo for it, or since he's the representative from 1047. That right there, those are cool things to see and see a developer do with their communities. I love seeing those types of things really kind of stand out and shine a spotlight on players, community members, and this one going out to people that aren't even necessarily in the Pro Series. This is for anybody to get into. Super cool, really solid community support there.
Yeah, just like anything else with our game, Splitgate itself, it's growing and we're building more on top of it. Same thing with our community engagement with everybody. We want this to not just be for the top players on esports. Of course, we talk a lot about esports here in the SPS, of course. But yeah, we want Splitgate to have something for everyone.
Yeah, that's awesome, and we appreciate that so much. It's awesome to see. There's one more day of regular games to go, so we'll be back tomorrow finishing up the regular season. We'll have the bracket at the end of the show tomorrow as well, so we'll be able to know who's going to play who, where everybody ends up. We can't wait to find out how everything shakes up for our winter season at the SPS. But we got to get there first. So that's it from us tonight. Thank you so much, everybody tuning in all over. Thank you, Endo. Thank you, Supersonic. And thanks to everybody in production. Great show today, everybody. Really appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow and finish up the regular season.